Turning phone down. Everything should be on mute. No disturbances. Even Discord is on do not disturb.
The one time it doesn't matter because you're not recording it.
Exactly.
Good evening. A little bit of a live playthrough of the intro there, just to prove that I did indeed write it and can indeed play the guitar, as if that needed to be done. Welcome.
Yes, we are here. Finally, for the final
The
part.
epilogue. So there's going to be no gameplay, as I said at the end of the last video. This is just basically a podcast, if you really think about it. We're going to be doing the regular roundup that we would normally do at the end of every episode. You may have noticed that we sort of skipped out on one at the end of Vanguard, and it's because this is it, really. It's the Giga Super Supreme pre-order bonus, Giga Deluxe Gold Edition, $100 epilogue roundup of the entirety of Treyarch Zombies. We're going to be collecting our thoughts on each individual game, the game mode as a whole, and then towards the end discussing, the first time we've ever done like a full-on YouTube series, either of us. So it's going to be fun if you care. If you don't care about our thoughts on any of this shit, feel free to leave. It's fine. I did say at the end of the last episode that this one probably won't be everybody's cup of tea because there's no flashing colours on the screen. Tyler, why don't you say something while I turn my amplifier off and put my guitar away?
Yes, of course. Well, it's been a big build-up. Obviously, like you were saying, we're going to be going through a bunch of things. I don't know if it'd be a wise idea. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. Try and talk a little bit with the lore just to get a bit of a big sort of like collection of the story, so we can sort of see from start to finish where it went. Not like how we usually would do for our usual things. Maybe like a quick little thing, like snippets that we can remember. On top of that, probably just discussing, just like what we thought about the map, sort of the goods, the bads, and we would just sort of take it as it goes, really.
I am back.
Yes,
Right.
he returns.
He
Yes.
returned. Okay, so let's start off by discussing the intro cinematic, right? So as you just heard, I just played the song. That song is lovingly called Zombie. It's the intro piece. I wrote that. Tyler wrote the outro piece that plays at the end.
Yes.
That was called Supernatural. It's fun. It's cool being able to. I feel like it's a unique spin being able to weave, our own work, scoring our own shit, like writing our own music. My girlfriend, who's a very talented artist, drew the fucking the screens, and you'll be looking at some now.
Yes.
The images, they were specifically designed to look low detail because, believe it or not, they were actually based on the perk machine guys. So the quick revive guy that's jumping out of the grave, or the stamina up guy running. That's what it was based on. It's not that she can't draw fingers or faces. It's that we wanted to base it off of the perk machine dudes, and also keep some anonymity. We don't really want to put our faces up, especially Tyler's, without asking him.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, so that's that really. There's not much else to say about that. I thought it was quite cool having custom intro and outro music and artwork. I feel like that's something that not many people have done. A lot of people have intro and outro songs, but they're usually made by someone else, and it's usually the higher end, the higher end YouTubers that have that sort of shebang. But let's start. There's a guy outside my house angle grinding.
Ah,
So if you can hear that in the recording, then I wish I could kill him as well. Don't worry.
well, I can hear it, so I'm assuming they can too.
Right. Anyway, then let's start with World at War.
Yes, probably one of the big ones. It's
Yes,
yeah.
the first special, the pilot episode, I guess you could call it. I really do like World at War. I spent a lot of time playing World at War. I didn't play zombies right away because it was I was very young and it was very scary, and I think we went over that in the first episode anyway. But
Exactly. Yeah.
I like the style they were going for with World at War. It was very scary. It was still very scary at the time. Um, I liked the art style. I liked the design of the maps. I liked the way the weapons felt and the color
It felt
palette in
very
general.
it felt very dark and very
Exactly, I like that though.
yeah, it was more darker than it wasn't like these bright colors that we got in some of the later games. It was more focused. I don't want to say realism, but I guess as close as you could get to realism in that sort of genre. Because yeah, it was just that sort of gritty feel, like coming straight off of the campaign. It it worked really really well because obviously what happened was um I was streaming my game to Joss. We were doing a little bit of a run through because I never played World at War properly. I owned it ages ago, but I had an issue where I couldn't actually play it until recently with Plutonium, which we'll also get onto. There's a little bit of a news going around with Plutonium at the moment that we'll
Yeah,
talk
there
about in a
is.
sec.
Indeed.
But
Indeed.
yeah, I played through the campaign with Joss, and after that is basically when we started our recording. So going straight into that, I think was a very good touch because it felt very coinciding.
Yeah,
Like,
we already had
yeah,
the warm up in it. Yeah, so
exactly.
it wasn't as aggressive as a start as like Black Ops 2 was or Black Ops 4 was for us, where neither of
Yeah,
us had played it in such a long time. But I really just love World at War in general. The campaign is great, especially playing it co-op. I just love the fact that they added a co-op campaign to that. It's sort of irrelevant for what we're talking about here, zombies wise, but just World at War is such a good game. You know, it's one of the greatest CODs, and everyone will agree on that. I never played the multiplayer much, but whatever.
I can agree. I would say it's one of the greatest, but I wouldn't label it as my greatest.
I wouldn't say it was the best ever, but it's definitely up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really, really, really liked it a lot. And it was cool running you through it, someone who's never played it before. It was really cool
Exactly.
running, like, especially in this day and age, you know, someone who's never even played Deriza, which is one of
Yeah.
the fan favorite maps, like, ever. But it's also very bare bones, and there's not really much to talk about with World at War gameplay wise. You have your gun. They introduce perks for the first time, but everyone knows that. You know, the wonder weapons, the box, the pack a punch was added at the final bit. There's not really much to talk about other than the atmosphere of the game and the nostalgia, which I just love it, and the music as well. The Easter egg songs were all bangers.
Yeah.
There was no down.
I
There was
mean,
literally no bad bits about World at War Zombies. You know, except for the lack of some gameplay, but you didn't know you were lacking it at the time. You know,
until later on,
until later on when
you
they
could
add
sort of
loads of it. Yeah.
see like what we became in that. But yeah, I mean, if we go through it, let's start it off. We start off on Naktorantoten.
Yes. Most bare bones
That
map ever.
exactly, literally about 5 rooms. That's it. I really do like it. It was sort of the test, sort of to see like, hey, here's a little tester. You can have a little feel for what things are going to be like.
Yeah, and if you like it, we'll carry on.
Um,
If you don't, it's dead. You know.
Now, obviously, I don't know when the maps came out. I don't know if they all came out at the same time. I think we talked about this possibly as well. But
What the zombies maps
if,
in World at War?
yeah,
They were
if
DLC drops.
Nocturne and Toten, did that come out just
That was
by
on the
itself, or
disc.
was that
Yeah,
that was on
Noct was on the
this?
disc. That after you complete the campaign, it auto plays into Noct after the
Yeah.
credits roll. And then the rest of the maps were DLC, and there was supposed to
Okay.
be a fifth map that came in like a fourth DLC pack, but they cancelled it because they didn't want to take attention away from Modern Warfare 2, ironically, which is like one of the biggest games ever as well. So so as they didn't draw attention away from their next release, they decided to cancel the fourth DLC, which was either going to be Paris or Kino.
Paris would have actually been quite fun.
Paris would have been cool. Paris would have been really cool. A lot cooler than some of the later maps we get.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, there's not really much to say about World of War other than that. It's just a good game. You can't really comment on much. The Wonder Waffer's cool. The ray gun's cool. The gameplay is clunky. The zombies are sticky. It's probably the most difficult, I would say, to play.
Yeah,
because when a zombie hits you, you stop moving, and it just basically, if you get hit once, you're dead in World of War. You have to be very on top of your game.
I'm trying to think about what I would say is my favorite map from there. I don't actually know. Like now we played through everything, and I look back at it because we've got the 4 maps: Nachtdauertoten, Verrückt, Shinonuma, and Der Reise.
Yeah.
Verrückt I think was the scariest one.
Absolutely.
That I played
maps
through.
Ever. Yeah.
That was a nice touch. I think I would be leaning towards that. Shinonuma, it was fun. It was okay. It was good. Yeah. Der Reise, I would say, is obviously it's got a lot to do in it. So I think in terms of gameplay, I had most fun on that. But I think my favorite map is either Der Reise or Verrückt at this point.
Yes, I feel the same sort of way. Where
it sits there.
Der Reise, I'm going to pronounce it correctly. Don't worry, everyone. It's fine. I'm joking.
Of course not.
Der Reise is the one that you have the most fun playing, simply because it's got longevity to it. You know, because when you're playing normally, once you get to a certain point, the zombies just don't take damage anymore. You know what I mean? But in Der Reise, you have the Pack-a-Punch for the first time, so you can sort of go for longer. The map is more large, and there are spots like the catwalk strat that we used. Angle Grinder Man is starting again, for fuck's sake.
Yep, there he is.
There's the camping areas, there's the training areas, there's the Pack-a-Punch, there's all the perks. It's like the most complete map. So even if it isn't your favourite, it's still the one that you have the most fun playing because it's built for longevity. You know, you can play it for a long time. Whereas Nacht is definitely a drop-in, drop-out in like a 10-minute match. Shinonuma is probably the second longest game. And then, so in terms of time spent in-map, it would be Nacht, Verrückt, Shinonuma, and then Der Reise in that order, which is the order of release, which is quite interesting because there's more fun stuff every map. But Verrückt, I never really liked Verrückt. It is quite scary, but it isn't because it made me scared. It's just because it's so difficult to play that it's not very fun for me. The song's good though.
I felt like if there was one map they could have done a full-on remaster to, that would have been a good one.
What, Verrückt? Remake that?
Yeah, and I know we got that sort of in Revelations a little bit.
Yeah, and it was also a blackout map, but that again doesn't.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not proper.
No.
I would love for there to be a full-on rehash at this map, and completely just like add stuff to it. You know, just like have a full-on Easter egg.
Let you go into the courtyard.
Yeah, just like expand a little bit, and then it's got the potential for it.
It does.
But yeah, I would say it was pretty good.
There's not really much to talk about with World of War. Like I said many times, it's just a bare bones game, and that was the whole point of it, right? So let's move on to Black Ops 1, where there's actually stuff to talk about. Black Ops 1 is where the game starts to open up and become its own real thing that you can take seriously. It's still arcadey, it's still designed to drop in and have fun, but in Ascension comes the first Easter egg, which we found out, if you remember.
That's not going to happen.
We found out that we can't do it as we were trying to do it. Like the day that we sat down to record, we found out it wasn't possible. So that really pissed us off. That's one thing I would say. I wish they didn't have the 4-player requirement to do all of the Easter eggs up until BO4 or BO3 actually.
They never thought about it in the long run, didn't they? It was sort of like that. It's not the life cycle that's going to have like
everyone has 3 friends to play with. This game's going to be live forever. You know, it is quite frustrating. There is a mod you can get on Steam that allows you to play the Chronicles maps. There's a mod that allows you to beat those Easter eggs with 1, 2, 3 players. But it's only for Chronicles because it's a Black Ops 3 mod. So we can do Ascension, we can do Shangri-La, we can do Moon, but we'll never be able to do you know, buried, never be able to do transit. I think if there is even an Easter egg in transit, I can no. We
There
can
is
do,
there is.
we can do transit, but it's very difficult. You know. Anyway, stuff like that. It is frustrating. It is very frustrating. But Black Ops 1, I love Kino. Everyone loves Kino.
It's fun.
5 is just as difficult as I remembered it being. I think the one and only map we gave up on. I think that 5 was the only map we just never bothered back a punching on because it was very difficult. It took like 3 attempts, and I just gave up.
Now, for me, my favorite map is also my most hated map.
Go on.
And it's not because of the map itself, but it's because of the recording that we had. And that is Call of the Dead.
Yeah.
I love it because it was such an interesting idea, sort of having it be actors like
movie
put
stars.
into a movie. It was like a movie in the Zombies franchise.
Yeah.
With a different style to it. We had the giant sort of monster that we could never kill fully. You could just take him away for a little bit or stop him for a tiny bit.
Rest in peace, George Romero.
Yes, it's such a shame. We will eventually also get onto the fan-made remake.
Yeah, that'll definitely
Black
be a
Ops
thing
3.
that I want to check out for sure.
But the thing that I hated most about that map was how long it took for us to record.
Was it like the 4 or 5 hours of recording that we did?
It was 5 to 6 hours, I think. It was literally that long. I think it even spanned to the point where we gave up on the first day and then tried it again on the second day.
I think so.
And
it was...
It was not fun. And
on top of that, that was frustrating for you. If people watched the Call of the Dead episode, or if they want to go back and watch the Call of the Dead, which is one of the only Easter eggs that we completed, the audio bugged at the end, and I had to mute the video and do like a voiceover on it. It was the worst. Like, that episode is terrible, and I love that map. I'm the same as you. It's like probably my favorite map to play from Black Ops 1 era, and the recording was so frustrating. It took so long to get that Easter egg done. And then I found out that the audio had bugged, and I had to like mute it. It was so sad that video, to me, I felt like was a dud.
Yeah.
It was very, very upsetting that video was a dud, in my opinion. Some people might not care about it, but it hurt me having to mute that shit at the end. And Mr. Angle Grinder again. Let's go. Pog, pog, pog.
I want to ask him what his take was on it.
Yeah, I'll take his head off with the fucking Angle Grinder. Yeah, so Ascension, when we found out that we couldn't do the Easter egg, that was like, how are we going to do this Easter egg thing? Because we came in episode 1 thinking, genuinely, it wasn't a lie, we're going to do all the maps, we're going to do all the Easter eggs, right? And we didn't think there'd be a problem with that. We got to Ascension, the first ever Easter egg, and found out that we couldn't do it. And then we got to the first Easter egg that we could do, and it took all day, and we got very angry and very stressed. And I made the executive decision that we were not going to be doing the Easter eggs in the series. We can come back and do them at a later date, but you best believe I'm not sitting there recording every attempt on the off chance that we get it done. That was bad. It was not good. Now, my recording techniques evolved the more we went through the series, and like, I started stopping recordings and then resuming recordings when they needed to be done. Towards the beginning of the series, I include every attempt that we had at a map. So I include attempt 1, attempt 2, attempt 3, and then the successful attempt at the end. And then towards the end of the series, it was just like, okay, we died. I'll just splice when we get back to that point in the next attempt, and it sort of smoothed the videos out. And of course, that's going to happen. It's our first time doing any of this sort of thing, and it's my first time properly editing a big project. So there was some smoothing and angle grinding, shall we say, to get the series to come together more towards the end, obviously, and like anything, it gets better as it goes. Other than that, I don't really have much to say about Black Ops 1. It's fun. It's a good game. It's back when it was still scary and it was still interesting. Moon was quite frustrating, if I remember rightly. Am I wrong?
Yeah, for me, Moon was sort of like, as a child, that was my favorite manga. Now that I come back to it, I don't know how I feel on it.
Yeah.
It's one of those. Kino was fun, but I'd played that too many times to be like, okay, yeah, Kino, I love Kino.
Yeah.
Really, I think it was Moon was painful.
Moon's
Moon was
painful.
painful.
5 is painful. Ascension is cool. Shangri-La is extremely difficult, especially with the Screamer guy and the Napalm guy.
Yeah.
And just how tight the map is, and the poo-poo sticks that stab you up the arse when you run over them and shit like that. It's very frustrating. Ascension's really frustrating as well. I forgot to mention Ascension is really frustrating with the monkeys.
It's one of those tight corridor type of maps.
The monkeys that steal
I
your
found.
perks. And then Moon is Moon, and Call of the Dead is Call of the Dead. It's generally, I would say, Black Ops 1 is an upgrade over World at War, of course, because World at War is bare bones. Would you agree that Black Ops 1 is an upgrade?
100%. Yeah, it's the first time. This is my take from it. Is that they understood people loved World at War Zombies, so that's when it fully started. They were like, okay,
Yeah.
let's give it a try.
And it was
We're
back-
gonna have a whole series.
It was back when they were willing to do new stuff, and they weren't constrained by suits telling them what they can and can't do, and when they still had good ideas.
Yeah, they knew exactly what to do. They knew how to keep it true to the other stuff that they'd already done, and not sort of gone on a wild, wacky adventure like sort of like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Let's start off this really cool action stuff.
Yeah.
And then later on, here's I don't know, time travel. Here's multiverse.
Well, time travel was always in. Time travel was always a thing, but it's back when it was a Nazi.
I mean,
experiment.
like MCU stuff.
Yeah, it was back when it was a Nazi experiment. I've said this all the way through the series. Nazi experiment zombies is way better than Cthulhu zombies. Way better. As soon as they turned the alien race into space squids with a god and a devil figure, I lost all interest in it, because I was 100%. So interested in the Nazis have found a meteor that has raised the dead, and they are working to make an undead army so that they can win the Second World War because they're on the back foot. That was a really cool story that they just completely fucking gave up on, and it was so frustrating. And then even when it came into Black Ops 1, they started going down the route of paperclip, where the Americans had taken Nazi scientists and they were working on the experiments from World at War. They were working on those in the basement of the Pentagon because they'd taken the Nazi scientists in Operation Paperclip, which is a real thing that happened. It was so cool when Zombies was based on real-world conspiracy theories, like Agatha, which is the Hollow Earth, which I brought up in, I think it was Transit when I brought that up.
Yeah.
The Hollow Earth theory, fucking Operation Paperclip, Die Glocke, which is the Nazi anti-gravity device, which they based the teleporter design on. It was really cool back when it was based on real-world, interesting conspiracy theory stuff. And then when it turned into, and there's this guy with a scarf who's basically God called Monty. It's like, it becomes MCU. It becomes MCU shit. They flew away through space and time and lived happily ever after. I don't want that.
Literally.
I want evil Nazi scientist experiments on child's dog and then kills child. That shit was cool.
My sort of take on it with the MCU was that their thought process and their ideas played out the same way how Treyarch has. They started off strong. They had powerful ideas. It was really good.
Yeah.
And then after a certain point, they were like, what do we do now? And then it slightly started to change. There were some good moments still, but then it just completely derailed into something that it is purely not. It's not zombies. Yeah. It's basically advanced warfare. It's ghosts. It's their little extra mode. It's not zombies. No, it's not zombies anymore.
Yeah, it's like with the MCU, they had a really strong idea, and then they wanted to resolve the idea, so they resolve it, and then they're like, okay, but now we need to go further. But when you start with Nazi experiment, raise the dead, how do you go further than that? And they chose to go, okay, so the meteor didn't just happen, it was aliens. They could have gone really cool with that, but instead they're like, but it was this giant squid in a different dimension, and one of them's God. And it's like, and you've lost me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, now we've done that. How do we go even further than that? Okay, God's the bad guy, and the devil is like the second half of, and there used to be one creature, and then there's a war in like a split reality, and the characters have to kill themselves. And it's like, where is this going? You know what I mean? Because I thought it would be cool if it was just like the theory that if you get to round 100 on Nacht und Toten, you fight zombie Hitler. I feel like that would have been a cooler thing to do, you know, where it's
Yeah.
like it goes up the Nazi ranks and you go to the head of 935 and you go to the 935 facilities and try and stop their experiments. That would have been a way cooler thing to do, which is sort of how they went with
Yeah,
Cold War.
if they were gonna do sort of the Nazi conspiracy type of stuff, and they still wanted to do the aliens, why not go down the route of the flying saucer type of stuff?
Exactly what I'm
You know?
saying. It would have been way cooler if they went down the same sort of conspiracy, because that's what Element 115 is.
Yeah.
Element 115 is the Bob Lazar statement that the flying saucers held at S4, near Area 51. They run on this thing called Element 115. That's where that comes from. It's all based on aliens, UFOs, Hollow Earth. That's what it's all based on. So it was sort of leading, you'd think, to, grey extraterrestrial man comes down in flying saucer and he's the final boss. Something like that. I feel like that would have been cooler. It could have equally been equally as wacky, but I prefer that kind of alien over the Cthulhu alien. It's just my kind of thing. Anyway, Black Ops 2.
Yes,
The game is
we are
still
onto
good.
some fun stuff.
There are still no issues with the game in Black Ops 2. Transit is a bit of a letdown, I will admit. Die Rise is straight dog shit, I will admit. But the lore, the important bit, the lore is still relevant. The lore is still cool. The story still makes sense. Buried was fun. Mob of the Dead is one of the best. Origins is one of the
And
best.
we don't talk about that one.
Origins didn't work for us when we were
Still
trying
not
to
played
record
it. We've still not played it.
We haven't played
Yeah.
the original BO2 version, and I don't think we ever will, because like you somewhat hinted at,
Well, yeah.
Plutonium.
Should we talk about that now?
Yeah,
Do you
well,
want to?
because plutonium's not
basically
relevant
going
after
through.
BO2, so might
Yeah,
as well talk about it.
plutonium's going through a bit of a rough patch right now. They received a deceased
A cease and desist.
a cease and desist. That's the one. A cease and desist letter from Treyarch because apparently
From Activision mostly.
or Activision, yeah. Apparently, people had been trying to play the game with cracked versions of, Black Ops and all that. So they didn't like it, and they've basically told Plutonium, who has no control of that, to shut it down.
Yep. Which means officially, World at War, Black Ops 1, and Black Ops 2 are dead
On PC.
forever.
It will be,
Dead.
I mean, there is sort of something that they're trying to do. They have sort of tried to argue a fact with Activision to say they'll try and see if they can work on an anti-cheat detection stuff, which just ruins the point of it, because if you can have an anti-cheat inside the game's basically just used for modding and hacking nowadays in the multiplayer and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So if they're going to do stuff like that, I don't know if that means that they're going to have a ban wave system.
If they can enforce, or find a way to enforce that you have to have a valid key for it to work, then I guess they could do that. But how is Plutonium?
How are they going to check?
How are they going to argue with Activision at all? No one can argue with Activision. Bear in mind, I tried to go on the forums to find out a solution to an issue I was having with Plutonium, and the admins of Plutonium were basically telling, the player base that the problems they were reporting don't exist. You know what I mean? Like, the admins weren't helpful at all. Plutonium was a very unreliable service when we were using it, and we used it for zombies. We didn't use it for multiplayer. We weren't modding. We were just simply trying to play co-op zombies, and Plutonium was one of the worst software pieces that I've ever fucking used in my life. First time I downloaded Plutonium, by the way, it flagged as a virus on my virus check. So, it's a bit dodgy. Some people can like it, some people, may not like it. And this is my personal opinion, and, obviously, don't take my word for it, make up your own opinions. But from my experience, Plutonium was one of the worst pieces of dog shit fucking software that I've ever had to put up with in my life. Shit just didn't work. And when you reported to them that it didn't work, they said, "Nuh-uh, it works just fine." The admins were unhelpful. And it seems that there's only a few of them that even exist. So I don't know how a handful of guys are going to argue against the Activision Men in Black. I just feel like Plutonium's dead, and there's no way to bring it back.
It's most likely, yeah. It's a shame because that sort of puts a big wall on our Easter egg sort of thing that we want to do.
Yeah, I
But
mean, we were going to start in BO3 and do BO4, and then if by the grace of some deity, there was a possibility to find guys to do BO1 and 2 with, then we would have done that. But now it's basically impossible, unless Activision Treyarch come out with like legacy servers, or they remaster BO1 and 2. Yeah,
it's never gonna happen.
I don't think
it's
ever
never gonna happen.
Oh, hold on, guys. Trust me. In 2025, we're gonna get Chronicles 2. This time I mean it. This time I mean it, everyone. Be sure to like and subscribe and ding the bell. Ding, ding. We're just going to go through that loop over and over again. But anyway, back to Black Ops 2. I enjoyed Black Ops 2. Yeah. It's still when the game's good, still when the game's fun. There are some things that were added that were great, and there were some things that were taken away, which I really didn't like. But we're still classic zombies. Still having a wonderful time playing it, and there's no bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, for me, going through it from Transit, I liked Transit because it was a fun idea. I liked the new take. It still was fun for zombies, but moving around to 4 separate sections of the map, or even more, I can't remember how many there were.
You got bus depot, diner, farm, power plant place, and town. And then it goes back to the bus station again. So there's 5.
They were fun, and it was. I wish we could have done the Easter egg for that because I've always been curious on that.
We gave it a go. Gave it a go.
Yeah, Die Rise. That in itself, I don't know how to feel about it. It was a yes and a no.
Yeah, it had potential.
I can't really say much. Yeah.
That was when Die Rise was when I first found the lack of quality assurance on, like terrain and actual playability of maps. That was when I got stuck in the door frame, and when you were like, try and jump in this hole, and it got stuck. And the only way I could get unstuck is if the jumping jack lightning man pushed me out of the hole. Like, Die Rise is not even just the gameplay and the fact that you can die from falling damage. Die Rise is a really, really janky, unpolished map. Like, it's not very good. But anyway, yeah, go on. Buried.
Yeah, I mean, Buried was one of my favorites.
Same. It's I think it's probably the fan favorite from BO2 if you don't count Mob of the Dead and Origins, so I take that back immediately. It's
one of the favorites unless you count the next 2.
it's one of the 3 good maps is basically what I should have said.
I would say Buried is going to be my second favorite, and I'll explain. I'll give it a whole order, so like what I thought was the best order for it. Then we have Buried. I loved the whole cowboy thing, the haunted mansion. All of it was just such a cool idea.
Yes.
And the Easter egg steps itself, so super enjoyable.
Yeah, and the maze,
really, really good job that they did on it. The maze as well,
and the mansion was super tense, but it was still fun to do, and I didn't feel like smashing my head off my desk trying to do it. It was just like a little fun arcadey challenge. So I really appreciated that.
Mob of the Dead, absolute favorite. Probably if not my favorite Black Ops map. Yeah,
it's a banger.
So good, so fun.
Pack-a-punch camo, fucking the box had a different design. Like they went above and beyond for Mob of the Dead. But I forgot to mention, Black Ops 2 has like every map has a custom UI. Like your ammo count and all that shit. It's all custom. But Mob of the Dead,
with Buried, it was that sort of cowboy feel as well.
Yes, they're all themed. But Mob of the Dead went above and beyond with like the custom mystery box. The fact that the warden Brutus could chain up the mystery box and the perks, and it had like actual modeled chains that were wrapped around it, all that sort of stuff, which came back in like Zetsubo with the spider's webbing shop. But Mob of the Dead was like the first time they went all in, and I think that's when I can't remember the guy's name, but that's when they had 2 different zombies directors working at the same time. So Die Rise and Buried were led by one guy, and Mob of the Dead and Origins were led by another guy, which is why Mob of the Dead and Origins feel pretty similar, and Die Rise and Buried feel pretty similar.
I didn't actually know that.
Yeah,
I do know.
and
Yeah, yeah.
the guy that did Mob of the Dead and Origins then took over, I think, and he's the one who did everything from that point on until Cold War. He left after Black Ops 4.
Yeah.
You
Now,
know.
I will say this though: the only thing about Mob of the Dead that I didn't, because I have completed Mob of the Dead before,
Yeah.
um, even doing the full Easter egg, way, way, way back in the day. I didn't like the ending. I don't know.
What, the fight to the death on the bridge?
Yeah, I wasn't too sure on the ending on it, but as a whole, I'd still rate it one of my best. Then we had Origins. Now, assuming, I guess we could call, should we sort of put this? Yeah, we'll probably give our reaction to the Black Ops 3 version because I'm just looking at it now. I don't think we've written it on our list here. So for Black Ops 3, so we'll just talk about Origins as if it was sort of both Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3.
I mean, it is the last
Um,
map of BO2, so you can flow through Origins into BO3 anyway.
exactly. Now,
But yeah, go on.
assuming it was the exact same, I really did like the map. I thought it was really great having those sort of trenches,
Yeah,
the giant robot stepping down, giving you like a marker saying where it was going to land. You had to get out the way. It was very good for clearing out zombies when you were in trouble.
yeah.
Um, I think it was the first time that they delved into sort of that elemental stuff with the
It was.
staffs.
It was, yeah.
So that wasn't bad. I will say it wasn't bad.
It
It
wasn't
was a
bad.
nice way how they tried it, and
Yeah,
opening up that tomb was so fun.
very cool.
It was just a little bit difficult to do that.
Yeah,
There was a
but
lot to do on the map and a lot to
that's
grab.
that's the running theme with the guy that directed Mob of the Dead and Origins, is that he
Yeah,
put loads of shit into the maps, loads of things to figure out, and that's why everyone loved him. But he pushed his luck and pushed the limit every single time they released a game and every single time they released a new map, so that by the time we got to BO4, it was like we said, you can't open the first fucking door without solving a cipher. You know what I mean?
yeah,
He's the one who pushed it that far, and that's why they ended up getting another guy who sort of toned it down a little bit for Cold War, which is what a lot of the pros complained about, is that they got so used to
yeah.
having to solve a Rubik's Cube to press play, that it was a bit of a letdown for them once they, had a little bit of hand holding again in Cold War for people that
Yeah.
aren't fucking crossword puzzle enthusiasts.
We will get to that one in a second.
But Origins,
But,
Origins is a good map.
yeah.
Origins is a really good map. It is a shame that we couldn't play the original BO2 version, and there is no difference other than the futuristic guns that we used and sliding. That's the only difference. You can't slide
Yes.
in Black Ops 2, and the gobble gums as well, but we didn't touch those anyway.
It was good to get into that more gritty feel again. Like I felt like the whole
It
few
felt
maps that we've been playing were a
scary
little bit,
and
yeah,
gory again, yeah.
exactly. It was that grey grit mud feel.
I love
I
the
think
dark,
Origins,
dull palette.
even though Origins has been remastered or like redone already,
Yeah.
I still think it deserves a rerun again.
Maybe
But
like
in this style, because I feel like the mud and the stuff like that would have been perfect with like the graphics that we have today.
yeah, but
It would have made it even more scarier.
instead of remastering, maybe go back to it with an extension like they did in the Cold War and Vanguard era, where you go
Exactly.
back to Nocturne Totem, but there's more map to it, and you go back to Shino Numa, but there's more map. Like if they did that, but then again, it would be quite difficult to add more map unless it was like an Outbreak map. If they turn Origins into an Outbreak sort of thing, but that would absolutely kill it. So I don't know if they ever will touch Origins again.
I really do hope.
Like you said though,
Yeah.
it is when they brought elemental shit in for the first time, and it was great, but I think it was a mistake because they brought elemental staves in, and then they couldn't get off the elemental heroine and had to bring it into every single map beyond wonder weapons eventually.
It was their safety net.
Everything. Every single thing
Yeah.
had to be elemental. The zombies have to be elemental. The pack-a-punch, the double pack weapon mods have to be elemental. The wonder weapons have to be elemental. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It became way too much for me. And it all started because of that elemental crack that they put in Origins, and they got carried away with it.
Yeah. And I mean, like, to basically round it up for Black Ops 2, I mean, I would rate it like this. I would have probably Die Rise at the bottom,
Absolutely.
Transit afterwards,
Absolutely.
then Origins,
All
then
right.
Buried,
All
and
right.
then Mob of the Dead.
I agree with you. I don't know if I'd swap Origins and Buried around. I'm not sure.
I don't know about it. The only reason why I put it like that is because Origins we had a lot of issues with, so I think my mood was a little bit
Yeah. Yeah.
influenced
Yeah.
on that.
Fair enough.
So it might be, yeah, sort of like tied and tied. But
I would
that's my
agree.
general
I would agree with that. Would you say BO2 overall was an upgrade over BO1?
100%. I love Black Ops 2.
I also love Black Ops 2.
Yeah, Black Ops 2, one of my favorites.
Okay, on to Black Ops 3.
Black Ops 3.
Shadows
Yeah,
of
so
Evil, I've said multiple times, I never really was a fan of the design of it when it came out, but playing it again in the series, great map. I really do like Shadows of Evil. It's all right.
yeah,
It's not the best in the
I'm
game,
the same on it.
but it's pretty good. Widow's Wine has
It's
an
got a lot.
amazing perk jingle. That
It's
really
got a
adds
lot
stuff.
of cool things and a lot of cool places on it as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a reason why I like
Jeff
it so
Goldblum.
much. Yes, they have somebody in for that.
I still really
Yeah, Jeff is brilliant.
I still really don't like that it's just rainy Chicago with no horror elements at all. And the zombies aren't really scary. They're just like guys in suits and women in dresses, like
Yeah,
done up like Stubbs the zombie. It's I don't know. It doesn't hit the same as
I know. Yeah,
zombie
I know what.
zombie with like skull protruding, walking towards you with one arm out in a Nazi lab coat. You know,
And that's
that's
exactly.
way better than, hey doll, mind if I eat your brains real quick? You know what I mean? Like they don't hit the same. That's my complaint about Shadows.
I like it for the style of it, but I don't like it as a zombies map.
Yeah. The giant,
Still pretty good though.
the giant's cool because it's just like a nostalgia trip from Deriza. There's not really much to do in it. The Easter egg in the giant is exactly the same as the Easter egg in Deriza, so we had to do it. You know, we'd already made the
Yeah.
decision that we weren't going to do the Easter eggs by this point. But when we found out that the Easter egg for the giant was basically just pack a punch a gun and shoot something, it would have been pretty silly for us to not do it. When we do our big Easter egg series in the future, we might do it again just for continuity, but we had to do it because it would be a smack in the face if we purposefully avoided like the
Ignored
easiest
it.
Easter egg in history. Other than that, though, I don't really have much to say about the giant. I never played it when it came out because I didn't have the Giga Deluxe pre-order Juggernog mini fridge edition. That was a real edition, by the way.
I know. I tried. I almost was like, I wanted to get that so
I wanted,
badly.
yeah, I wanted the fridge, but I wasn't gonna go crazy over it.
No, it's not worth it.
Der Eisendrache is a cool map. The Panzer guy is too much. We already said that a million times in our roundup of Der Eisendrache, but the Panzer guy is too much. They should have picked one avenue to go down, either slow and tanky or fast and easy to kill. But they went for
was
fast
so
and
cool.
tanky with close and
Now-
long range attacks. It's just too much.
This, I think, so far, was the closest we had to an actual zombies map
What?
since probably Black Ops 1. The Eisendrache.
Yeah.
I see it more closer to being a zombies map than any of the previous ones we've played. Because
yeah.
it's a Nazi castle. It feels like
Yes.
you're in a castle that was occupied by Nazis somewhere, maybe in Norway or Scandinavia.
No, it's in Austria,
And-
I think.
Is it in Austria?
I think so. Yeah.
It just looks super cool. It's
Yeah.
got the cool aesthetic. It's not the scariest type of thing.
And I'll
To
tell
me,
you,
I didn't
let me just
find
drop
it
in. Let me just
scary.
drop in. I think Der Eisendrache would have been an 11 out of 10 if it was made in Black Ops 1 or World at War.
100%.
If it was made in that engine with that color palette and actual legitimate swastikas, Der Eisendrache would be way better than it is in Black Ops 3. There's something about the essence of Black Ops 3 that makes the game way easier to play and a lot of fun, but also saps a lot of the spirit
It's just
of
too
zombies.
cartoony because
Exactly.
of the color that they use.
Colors and
They go too poppy
I
on the
don't-
colors.
I don't know what it is, but there's something about Black Ops 3 that takes away from the feeling of zombies. It's fun to
Yeah.
play, and it's like the smoothest, most fun you'll ever have, right? But it don't hit like World at War and Black Ops 1 hits. Even Black Ops 2. It don't hit right. There's something about the Black Ops 3 engine that saps a little bit of horror from it. So if Eisendrache was made in any of the games before BO3, it would have hit a bit better, I think.
I 100% agree.
Zetsubo is my favourite map from Black Ops 3. Fight me. I know a lot of people think it's the worst. I'm in love with Zetsubo.
Yeah.
You don't like it, and that's fine.
It's not that I don't like it. I do like it. It's just, I don't know if I would put that as my top one.
Well, okay.
Zetsubo was good because the blood made it really, really scary.
Yeah, I like the swampy and the green, because it's like, oh, it's vibrant colours, sure. But the bioluminescence made sense. It wasn't just random colours everywhere. And the swampy, dark, dingy green. It's something that they hadn't done before. So it was the first time for me since Black Ops 1, maybe Black Ops 2, that it actually felt genuinely scary, and it was a new flavour of horror. It was, like we said, it was more Resident Evil-y for the first time, which was fun.
Yeah.
But I understand people don't like it, and we haven't done the Easter egg, so maybe the Easter egg's shit. Maybe that's why people don't like it very much.
Yeah, like I say, a lot of my thoughts would have been, I think, very much different if we had done the Easter eggs, because
of course, yeah,
I have been dying to do that for so long. Sorry,
so
I'm also just we completely forgot. It's time to crack out some of the drinks. I think we've got a few things here.
Oh yeah.
We said we were going to do a couple of drinks whilst we were doing this.
Yes,
so, my choice here is a classic. I've got some Jack Daniel's Tennessee Sour Mash Whiskey. Standard, not really anything special.
I forgot.
There's
I'm
a few
not prepared.
I would love to try. Hey, I don't have the glass here, so I'm just gonna take it straight from the bottle.
Straight from the bottle. What are you, Nicky?
Straight. Yeah, why not? Shoot me up with some of the good stuff.
You'll have to give me a second, and I'll be back with it.
Yeah, of course. I'll just cover my thoughts then quickly on Zetsubo. So, Zetsubo, I really did like it. Yeah, it was that whole experiment ground, sort of like the raised thing. I don't know, like some of the stuff just gave me a feel from some games that I used to play. Like I used to play this one game called it was the Avatar game by James Cameron, and there was like a lot of scientist research bases, and I just, whenever I looked at this, like if you've played those before, even if you've probably seen the films, some of the look, like how it looks from the outside, if you look at that and you look back at Zetsubo no Shima, it just gave me that same feel, and I just felt that's one of the things I liked about it.
All right, hold on. You ready?
Yep, go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, how's that for a sound effect?
Hey, what is that? What is your choice of the day?
I'm going a little bit more refined than Tyler. I've got a little bit. Hold on, there you go. Heard a little bit of pouring. This is a little bit of Glenfiddich single malt Scotch whiskey. Orchard Experiment. Experiment series number 5. How's that? Crisp and sweet, it says. Finished in Somerset Pomona spirit casks.
Whoa.
It's all over me because I had to run. Anyway.
Hey.
Did you finish up your Zetsubo, Ron?
I did, yes. I was just saying it looked a lot like one of the things from Avatar, the research centers.
That's got a kick to it. Oh.
So yeah. I'd say probably I'm gonna go through it at the end, sort of like of Black Ops 3 to say what's my favorites.
Yes.
But yeah, Zetsubo out the way with. We move on to Gorod Krovi.
Gorod's at the bottom.
Yeah, that one was not fun.
No, it wasn't.
In the slightest, it was a dull map.
It was not.
The
PP Shur is cool. The Papa Shah is cool that it's back and that it's still called the Reaper. But the map in and of itself was pretty lackluster to me, and the dragons was when it starts going MCU.
It did not make sense.
No, not at all.
It's like, hey, here's your zombies content, and now welcome to Harry Potter.
Here's a dragon and a mech warrior. Like, fuck off, mate.
Yeah, it was cool to see the robots back from Origins and all that,
Yeah,
they
the
made a big
Soviet,
appearance throughout
and it was a
all the
Soviet version.
games.
It was a Soviet version, which was
Yeah.
cool. Seeing like the opposite side of that in an alternate
Now, some
universe.
people might say, "Oh, but you guys, you don't like all this supernatural stuff." But then they had giant robots. It's like, it's a giant robot. It is not far-fetched. I mean, the Nazis
It's
were wanting to build these gigantic tanks and
the
such. It
Ratter.
doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't. It's not far
Yeah,
off.
there's a difference between sci-fi extension of belief and straight up bollocks. There's a
Yeah.
difference between the two. The Nazis having steampunk. I'm doing a robot right now. I'm doing the robot dance. Steampunk robot guys walking over a battlefield. They weren't Nazis. They were World War One. There's a different that I can see that. That's cool. It's a steampunk thing. Cthulhu and dragons. Nazis can't
No.
develop dragons.
Yeah.
Nazis can't draw up a conspiracy theory blueprint of Cthulhu, but they can draw up a blueprint of a giant walker. You know, it wasn't a mech suit. It was like a steampunk walking tank. It was a cool idea. Like you said, they were working on the P-1000 Ratter super heavy tank, which was like a battleship with tank treads. That was a real thing, by the way, that they were actually making and had to cancel because they lost the war. Like, it's a different
So
kettle of
robots
fish.
aren't out of the playing field. Robots are very plausible.
Yeah, and it's just a walking tank more than it is a robot, you know? But anyway, yeah, I didn't like Gorod very much at all. That lockdown at the Pack-a-Punch and having to survive that lockdown just to leave the Pack-a-Punch. I'm sure if we tried it again, we could have got through it easy, and it was our first time getting there. But I didn't want to.
You got to look at it. You got to look at it this way. At least they just flew away
through space and time.
Into time and space. Yeah.
At
least they did that twice.
Gorod is firmly at the bottom, but it doesn't mean it's bad, really. Like you could still load up Gorod and have a little bit of fun on it. Black Ops 3 isn't a bad game at all. It's just the bottom of the barrel for Black Ops 3.
There wasn't anything that I found fun about that map.
Maybe if
I just couldn't get behind it.
Maybe when we do the Easter egg, we'll be like, this map's fucking great. It's just the dragon thing really put a damper on it for me. There's only so much I can suspend my belief. And then it becomes like, this is a fucking MCU film. I don't like this very much. And Revelations follows that same sort of thing. But Revelations
we get into Revelations.
Revelations was fun. I think I said that Revelations is probably the quickest, most funnestest you could possibly have in Black Ops 3, because you load it up, you can pull the wonder weapon clean out of the box like we did.
Yeah.
You got a ray gun, didn't you?
I can't actually remember. If
I know you definitely got a wonder weapon, and I got the Cthulhu gun, like on my third pull or something. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Revelations is fun. It's just not for me. That like space battle on floating islands with a giant squid. It's just like, what the fuck am I playing? You're playing that and you're having fun, and then you have this flashback to, you know, whiskey. You get this flashback to when you're a kid, and it's scary, and you're in the Pentagon, and you're in a Nazi theater, and you're in Nocturne in a bunker, and you're in Doris, and then you open your eyes again, and you're on a floating fucking island with a giant squid, and you're like, hold on a second, where did the Nazi experiments go? Where did the horror go? That's my criticism of Revelations, is that it's just wacky as fuck, and some people like that. I don't. It's not for me.
It just feels like the more we go along, the less it is
cartoonish.
Zombies.
Yeah, it becomes less scary and more cartoonish MCU.
Because they focused a lot more on the colors than they did the actual story of zombies and such, and they were like, bright, beautiful colors. Let's see what we can do for that. I liked it. I liked Revelations. It just felt like a quick final map to the whole game.
Yeah, and it's another thing where
it was like the ending of Halo 3, where you get into a warthog and you just drive down this whole crashing thing. Everything's crashing around you. You have to try and escape, and get back to the ship. And that's how it felt. It felt like that. So if I played it as a kid, after playing Halo 3, I probably would have loved it even more. it's just yeah, it's like you said, it didn't feel that much like zombies. It
Exactly.
was a nice nostalgic touch going through
Going back
all
through
the
the
old
favorite
maps.
maps, but it doesn't feel like zombies. It doesn't mean it's
Yeah,
bad. It doesn't feel like zombies. It's like the Astonishing doesn't feel like Dream Theater. It feels like Disney, but it's still good. I still like it.
yeah,
Chinese Democracy doesn't feel like Guns N' Roses, but it's still good. That's what Revelations is to me. But a lot of people are like, Revelations is a masterpiece, and that's fair enough. I just don't feel that. I think when it was scary and Nazi-ified is when it was a masterpiece to me. Revelations wasn't.
yeah.
It's not like a wet wipe end. You know, it wasn't like a flop. It's just Moon's way better. You know, the Nazi moon base,
Yeah.
the Origins is way better as a finale. And the Easter egg, maybe that will resolve it. Maybe the Easter egg will be like, Revelations is now officially my favourite map of all time. But I doubt that. Into Black Ops 4.
Wait,
Hold on, hold on.
we still
Is
haven't done the
is
roundup for it.
is Black Ops 3 generally an upgrade to BO2?
Um, mm,
See,
no,
now we're agreeing again.
no.
I don't
But
know.
here's what I would rank it, by the way, for every single map.
Yeah, go on,
At
so
the
far.
very, very bottom, we've already said it, is going to be Guard. Guard Crovey is the very, very bottom of that list.
Yeah.
Then I would probably go the Giants.
Yeah, sure. Because there's just not
After the
much in it.
Giant, exactly. And it's not because it's a bad map, it's because we've
Nope.
already done it and there's not much to it.
Nope.
Guard Crovey, the Giants,
Mm-hmm.
probably Revelations
Yeah.
after that.
Yeah. Probably.
Then I would put it as Shadows of Evil.
Go on.
Then I can't tell. It's a mixture. It's probably going to be Zetsubo no Shima and then the Eisendrache.
I would agree all the way up until the end, and I'd swap those
I
last
know.
two.
It's a
That
mix. It's probably joint first for me again. It's one of those.
Yeah,
But
and it's cool that we almost agree exactly the same after going through this experience because it means that I'm not crazy, right?
yeah,
That we sort of both agree on this shit. That it's like it's not just me having a crazy day. Gorod genuinely was not fun, right? Like because everyone says it's the best. I just don't get it. I would agree.
yeah.
I would put
I would
Zetsubo
say
number one, Der Eisendrache number two, maybe tied with Shadows. I'm not sure.
yeah. I mean, for me as a whole, Black Ops 3, I think it's a good game because of the modding support as well.
Of course.
You know, making your own maps.
But
But
that don't
it
count.
was not a good zombies game. It wasn't a good zombie story, I should say.
Yeah.
The zombie mode was fun.
It's
It
fun to
was
play.
really enjoyable.
It's really good.
But it didn't do anything for the story, in my opinion.
Right. That's exactly how I feel about it as well. It's a great game. It's fun to play, but the lore becomes
Pointless.
inflatable book for babies to read in the bath,
Yeah.
and it's not the same as it was from BO2 and in reverse. I would say BO3 improves on BO2 in some areas and massively brings down the mood of zombies as a whole in other areas. Gobblegums are shit. Taking
Yep.
money off of me like that, who the fuck do you think you are? No, I'm joking. Gobblegums just ain't fun. I don't like the Gobblegum idea. I feel like it's dumb. I never used any of them, you know, except for the wacky sounds. And even then, it's like, why the fuck am I listening to wacky sounds? It's fun. It's like big head mode. But having to pay for that, like with real money, is nuts to me. I don't know why anyone
Yeah.
would have ever done that, except for your viewers on Twitch donating money to you saying, buy more Gobblegums, please. You know what I mean? Like that's the only reason I would see anyone ever buying them. Perkaholic is just bullshit, being able to get all the perks from round one just because you can't be asked to play the game. I don't know. It don't feel right to me. I would say BO3 is still a great game though, and we're still going to go back and play it again. It's still good, and Chronicles in BO3,
It's probably going to be the one that we're going to play the most, I'd
Course,
say, just
course.
for its own. Yeah.
I don't like the futuristic weapons and all that bullshit, but anyway, moving on.
Yes.
BO4.
Black Ops 4.
As you can see, we've got a little script here that we're reading through. I've put Chaos at the start. They're not in release order. They're in order of release for Chaos and then order of release for Ether. Let's get Chaos out the way because it's
Voyage.
dreadful. Voyage,
of
0 out of 10.
Despair.
0 out of 10. 1 out of 10?
3
out
or
of 10.
4 out of 10.
3 or 4 out of 10. Okay.
Mainly because I just like the Titanic.
That's fair
I
enough.
like the story on it.
I
but
didn't like the map layout. I still, to this day,
Too small.
To update everyone from the end of the Voyage of Despair video, to this day, I still have no fucking idea what the fireman is doing on the Titanic. No one has explained it. I don't get it. I don't know why Colonel Vogan is on the Titanic, the man on fire. I don't get it at all. It's not very fun to play. The map design is weird. I don't know. I just don't get it. Voyage ain't very good. Probably the worst map of BO4. Definitely the worst map of the Chaos storyline.
100%. Yeah.
Moving swiftly on.
Very much, yes.
9 is good. I like 9.
Yeah, from completely one into the other. 9's
really
probably
good.
my favorite.
9 is like a spruced up Noct. It's like the quick arcadey game where you drop in for a quick match and you drop out. There's an Easter egg to do, but you don't have to do it. And you can, just knock about with guns, shooting people in the Colosseum. It's quite fun.
It's a very fun and symmetrical design to the map.
Yes.
It's very interesting to be able to go up. You know, you can choose a path to go to. Which mythology would you like to visit first? And I really like that.
Yeah.
You know, combining all of those things like into one giant thing, like a fighting arena.
Yeah.
And each tower had its own theme. It was super cool because we're both into sort of mythology stuff.
Of course. Super into it.
It's really, really cool. And the underground lair I thought was even better. Obviously, to mention as well, going into Black Ops 4, there is I don't know if it was for Black Ops 3 as well, but there is a new mystery box. Yeah,
there is the Chaos.
I think it's the same one that they introduced in Call of the Dead.
No,
was it? I can't remember.
You mean Mob of the Dead? And no, it isn't. It's
I'm sorry, not Call. Yeah, Mob of the Dead.
The Chaos box was like screaming, wailing souls, if you remember.
Yeah.
Mob of the Dead was just like a
actually can't remember. It was something with
spikes on it. And it was glowing because it came from like the pits of hell, but it was just a metal box with spikes on it and a big padlock. Angle Grinder Man's back. Fuck's sake. Anyway,
yeah, he was going for a bit.
9 was good.
Yes.
9 was good. The Chaos story wasn't, but 9 is still fun to play. Dead of the Night, quite fun.
Probably
actually.
My favorite.
Quite fun.
Actually, yeah. Screw 9. This one is probably my favorite.
At the time of recording the Dead of the Night episode, I was in Resident Evil 4, which Tyler is now playing right now. Actually.
Yes.
And I said Dead of the Night is a lot like Resident Evil 4. I like the design of Dead of the Night, visual design. I mean, the
Easter eggs to it are very interesting.
We will see, won't we?
Yes, I've already tried it soloed, and it took me 4 hours.
I don't like. Yeah. I don't like following the ghost lady and listening to her babble, but you know, there's no major fucking gripes that I have with Dead of the Night. It's fun. We played as Brian Blessed and I forgot his name, Kiefer Sutherland. We played as those two guys. We had a lot of fun. It was good. You were like, the werewolf's going to be dreadful. And then we just killed the werewolf. And the Pack-a-Punch camo...
It's one of those moments again.
That Pack-a-Punch camo is one of the ones that I remember being really good.
Yeah.
Voyage was bad. I remember Voyage was being awful. But anyway. Dead of the Night, solid map. Probably the best out of the Chaos story, in my opinion.
And now for one of the least favorites, except for
Evil.
Voyage.
Yeah, Ancient Evil is really bad. I did not have fun playing this, and neither did your PC. This is the map that basically took your PC out round the back and shot it.
Basically, and now I've sort of done some repairs to it and made a Frankenstein. Since that episode, I've sort of upgraded my PC a little bit to help out.
BO4 is very unoptimized.
Yeah.
And runs hot as fuck. And it was overheating Tyler's PC and turning it off just trying to play Ancient Evil. That shows you how evil the map is.
The game really is. Yeah, I mean, the 2 sections to it, it just was not fun.
Meh.
You had the first part of it being like that sort of Greek design with the Spartans,
that was cool. And the mirrors. I looked up and saw all the reflecting plates that were like bouncing the sunlight down. That was a cool design. The giant snake when you go down to the Pack-a-Punch area on Pegasus.
It's cool. A cool idea, but it was not fun.
Exactly.
Not fun.
No, not in the slightest.
Yeah, just I think for me, Dead of the Night would have been so much better to end it on a high.
Probably, but it also, it's the Black Ops 4. The way Black Ops 4 is really didn't help. You
Yeah,
know how bullshit Black Ops 4 really feels. Really did not help
it was
Ancient Evil.
just they did not know what to do for that game, and they just decided to make a bunch of random crap and just throw it together.
I think they
No
thought
campaign.
I think they thought people were really gonna like Chaos, and when it came out and everyone was like, "Chaos is shit," I think they
Exactly.
started scrambling behind the scenes, and they were like, "I
Yeah.
mean, we've got to finish the maps, but no one wants to play them."
It's like as a whole for Black Ops 4, it's like they just really did not put much effort into it. It was just no campaign. You had the prequel to Apex Legends, is what it felt like, for the multiplayer. And then going on to zombies, it was like they split it in half. They gave us some of the stuff that we really wanted, but then they just decided, okay, we're gonna make something new, but we're not gonna stick to it.
We're gonna
We're not
half-ass
gonna
it,
follow through on it. Yeah, it's like four maps is what they gave us,
but
and
they ejected Chaos as soon as possible because it
that's
was
not what I
it
wanted
was
though.
hot shit, and they needed to evacuate that, so they just never
I
came back to it again.
I actually preferred Chaos more than I did the next few zombie games coming up.
Really?
That is my personal take. I will tell you that when we get to it.
That's
Um,
crazy.
exactly.
That's
But for the
fucking crazy.
moment, to round up Chaos, I would say we have Voyage of Despair in last,
Yeah.
Ancient Evil second,
Yep.
9 as after that, and my favorite one, Dead of the Night.
I would probably
Probably
say
gonna be
Voyage is definitely at the bottom. Ancient Evil's
yeah,
next. Maybe 9 and Dead of the Night tied. Maybe one day I like 9 more. Maybe one day I like Dead of the Night more. Either way,
fair
Chaos
enough.
ain't great. Even the best Chaos map, I would still prefer to play many other maps. Put it that way.
True. Yeah.
I would prefer to play many other games than Black Ops 4. Into the Ether story, though,
Into the ones that we were
we
wanting to
start
find out about.
with Blood of the Dead, which I still think is not a good map at all.
I'm in the contrary.
I still do not like Blood of the Dead. I think Mob is way better, and I think Blood of the Dead is difficult for no reason in areas that do not need to be difficult for no reason. And the Pack-a-Punch camo is such a major letdown after the masterpiece that is the Mob of the Dead
That
Pack-a-Punch camo.
that I can agree on. The reason why I find I liked it is because when I was doing some Easter egg steps way back when,
Yeah,
um, it was actually enjoyable. They had some really fun steps.
fair enough.
There's this one part where you had to go underground and you had to grab a spork, a golden spork, and then you could use that as a really cool thing. And yeah, it felt for me like the Easter egg was more fun than it was in Mob. But
Fair enough.
overall, I think Mob was more scarier.
I think Mob was better in almost
Yeah,
every way. Um, that's just my opinion, though. I don't like Blood of the Dead at all. I don't really have much to say about Blood of the Dead. I've sort of dumped it from my memory.
fair
Um,
enough.
it's just not great for me. I don't like it. Classified, on the flip side, though, was fun. I enjoyed
Yeah,
Classified. It makes me very angry that they locked it behind the Omega Deluxe fucking,
super
premium, platinum release.
one and done edition.
Yeah, the body odor pass. I really didn't like that they locked it like that because Classified, in my opinion, is way better than Blood of the Dead, and I sort of wish they locked Blood of the Dead behind the paywall, because at least then I would have played a good map.
Mm,
But that's my hot take. Classified was fun. I enjoyed Classified.
yeah,
Some of the round music was good. Some of the round music didn't fit. But I did like the evil geniusy, the plink plink plonks that play between rounds. I didn't like the ones that sound like Shadows of Evil though. And the Pack-a-Punch camo in Classified was very cool. Was it not?
I actually cannot remember it.
It's the blueprint one.
Is it that one?
Yes,
Okay.
the one where it's like there's a white
The
version, a red version,
the
a blue version,
multicolored blueprints.
and a
I thought
green
that
one.
was. I always thought that was Moon.
No, it's because in
Okay.
Classified you go to what's it called? You go to Groom Lake, which is the same place that you start Moon in, but you go there in Classified as like a little callback reference.
That's why. That
Yeah,
would be why.
I like Classified. There's not much to say about Classified though because it's pretty bare bones. It's like the Giant. The Giant was also locked behind the Omega Deluxe edition, so there's not much in it. So that people that didn't pay for it didn't miss out on much. So classified's similar. There's not really much to miss out on, you know, and not
Exactly.
really
Yeah.
much to talk about. I just enjoyed it. No positives, no negatives, just pretty good. Alpha Omega, we had a awful time recording that. That was when OBS started
Yeah.
shit in the bed. Um, I feel like Alpha Omega is still an alright map if we had the opportunity to experience it properly, which we will when we go and do the Easter egg, I guess. But I can't really say much about Alpha Omega either. The rooftop snipers are bullshit, but the fact that it's an expanded Nuketown was fun.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of expanded Nuketown, I forgot to even put Nuketown on the Black Ops 2 list. That shows our
Oh
thoughts
yeah,
on
of
Nuketown from
course.
Black Ops 2. It was fucking omitted
That
from the
was
list.
just that's literally the Nocturne tone of Black Ops 2.
That is literally the Night Return of Black Ops 2.
Yeah.
The fact that
It
I
was
forgot it even existed while writing up the list is crazy. It shows you what I think about it. Do you have anything to say about Alpha Omega
um
at all? Because I
to be
don't
fair,
really.
it's not really much. No. I really did like it though.
Yeah, it's becoming
Um
evident to me that my brain has just ejected a lot of the Black Ops 4 from it. I
the
don't really
experience
remember
of it for the
much.
game.
I don't really remember much of Black Ops 4. I remember Alpha Omega had potential, and that's about it, really.
Basically.
It could have been
Yeah.
really good, but we had a really bad experience recording it. It's basically this. Alpha Omega is like the Call of the Dead of Black Ops 4. It's an alright map, but because we had such a hard time recording the episode for it, we look less highly on it. You know?
Exactly. I
Alpha
know what you
Omega's
mean.
kind of tarnished because of the stress we had to go through recording it. Which leads
And
us
now
into
for
Tog.
the actual Call of the Dead.
Yeah.
Dogderton.
Dark
Yeah.
to Toten is a really good map, except for all the bullshit hoops you have to jump through. Once you've jumped through them, the map's cool. I just wish you didn't have
better.
to jump through them.
The reason why I think we like it so much is because
It's
it's
Call of the
not a
Dead.
Black Ops 4 map.
It's Black Ops 1 map. It's Call of the
Exactly.
Dead.
It's a Black Ops 1 map with Black Ops 4 features. And you'll notice
Featuring, by the way,
all the stuff. Yeah.
featuring a Nazi experiment lab hidden in the
Yes.
side of a mountain. It's like all of the best bits of zombies mixed up in a bowl made of shit called Black Ops 4. And that bowl makes it taste just bad enough to not like. What do you reckon of that analogy? Is it good?
It's a good one. Yeah.
Making a cake in a bowl made of shit.
Literally. It's.
If that
And
cake was
there's not
made
much
in
words.
if that cake was made in a different bowl, like the Black Ops 3 bowl, it would have been my favorite map.
Yeah.
But you
It was
hated,
much harder, and I did not like it.
you fucking hated the guides on it, the shit that you had to do.
Oh, yeah.
There was a guy in the comments that was like, you know what? Because I said it's not fair to judge the map based on your experience with guides. But the guy in the comments did have a fair point. He's like, actually, the fact that you need to read a guide simply to play this map is a fair point, that it's frustrating. That you would have had way
Yeah.
more fun playing Tag de Toten if it wasn't fucking required for you to have an encyclopedia open just to unlock the Pack-a-Punch. And that is totally fair. So
Yeah, we wouldn't have had to pause it so many times just to make sure
exactly.
where exactly it was, opening up 5 different guides to show
If it
where,
was
because each one had a different image, basically.
if it was just a simple zombies map where you open doors, walk through them, turn the power switch on, pack a punch your gun, and then you know do some Easter egg steps. Like if it was just Kino, if it was Call of the Dead again, it would have been fine. If that crank shit was for the Easter egg and not simply to go up to the top of the mountain so that we could listen to the song, which by the way the song is
Yeah.
incredible. If it didn't involve that bullshit, it would have been a great map. I think Targ is probably the best map in Black Ops 4. Map-wise. It doesn't mean Black Ops 4 is any good, though. I just think Targ is my favourite. How would you order Ether?
Ether ones, I would probably put it. See, that's the difficult things because it's like maybe classify. I don't know if I would put classify last because of the simple fact that we've already played it.
I hadn't already played it.
Probably Alpha Omega, Classified,
Go on.
Tag de Toten,
Mhm.
Blood of the Dead. I don't know though. That's just I don't know. It could be. It's difficult. Maybe Classified, Tag the Toten, Alpha Omega, Blood of the Dead.
I would
That's what I think I'm
say
looking at.
Blood of the Dead is at the bottom. Classified.
Okay, so we agree on that.
Classified tied with Alpha Omega. Probably. Maybe. Maybe Alpha Omega is below Classified. Tag is definitely at the top for me, though.
Because you got to play
Because I got to play
it.
it.
I got to read it.
Yeah. The reading monkey has to read while I
Exactly.
enjoy the game. Yeah. No, I think Targ is the best looking and most fun map, and the Pack-a-Punch camo was really good as well. The best camo in the game. I just feel like
Yeah.
Targ is the best map that they, like, the best map that they had made. Map design and, not map design, but, aesthetic design and art style wise, it's fun to look at, and it's the most fun I had in Black Ops 4. That's why I would say it's the best, but I get that you wouldn't because of your experience playing it. Do you have anything
Yeah.
really to say about Black Ops 4? Do I even dare ask, is it an upgrade?
If it was a step up, it was.
I
I don't know
think
if it was a little step up or not.
I think it was
I,
it was an attempted step down, missing the step and falling to the bottom of the staircase. That's how I would describe its layout. Black Ops 4 is smack bang at the bottom.
it might be a little bit less, but I don't know if I would put it at the bottom for all the maps. I think was it better than Black Ops 1 though?
I don't think so.
I think we'll go through this in a second. We'll go through it in a second.
We can big round up at the end. Hold on, Motorbike Man's going by.
Oh, it's got the whole squad coming out today.
We can go through the order of games at the end.
Well, here, we're moving on to the next sort of phase of zombies.
Phase 3.
Modern phase.
Cold War.
Yeah, Cold War.
I like Cold War. Cold War's fun.
I did not.
You don't
I
like
did
Cold
not.
War?
As a whole, I did not like it. No.
Why?
It, I'll explain it. We'll start off to begin with. D
D-Machina.
Machine.
It's alright.
Nocta Toten expanded. It was fun. It was good. I liked the Easter egg on it.
Shame we couldn't complete it.
Yeah, we've done it before though, so we've done it multiple times before actually, but it's just been a while. So I like that. I did like it, all things considered. It was okay having the elemental things in it. It was just a little bit, but regardless of that, yeah, the whole Nazi. It felt more like a Nazi zombies experience, even though it was more like Soviet type of thing.
But I enjoyed that though, and that's fine because it was still touching on Nazi experiments. It was just from a different angle, from a different time period. It was looking at evil Nazi experiments as a thing from the past that was being uncovered, more than a thing that was unfolding before our very eyes.
Yeah,
and I feel like that was a cool aspect to go with, and focusing more on the Soviets being the bad guys because it's Cold War. It was fun, but it also made sense because it's paperclip. It went back to paperclip. The Americans and the Russians divvying up Nazi scientists in their ranks and trying to work on Nazi experiments that had possibly failed or had to be stopped because the war was ended. It went back to that again. That's why I liked it so much. Project End Station is a Nazi experiment that was then attempted to be kick-started again by the Soviets, which is paperclip, which goes back to 5 and the Pentagon and Black Ops 1 and 2 story. So I liked that. That was really cool. Say what you want about the gameplay, but I liked that it went back to that conspiracy with no magic scarf-wearing god alien. That's why I like Cold War so much.
that's fair.
Because it's like stepping back somewhat into reality after a two-piece bullshit back-to-back with BO3 and 4. Story-wise.
Yeah, I can understand that.
What do you reckon of 5AZ?
5AZ. It was still okay. I think it was about on the same level of enjoyment as D Machine was.
Yeah.
I think it was interesting because obviously I think the Easter egg in itself. I don't know if I would. I don't think I would rate it more than D Machine's was because I think D Machine, the Easter egg in that was actually very fun at the end, like sort of escorting a megaton, and getting to understand sort of like that whole thing behind it. I feel D Machine should have come in later on in the release cycle rather than what it did.
Fair
I
enough.
think we should have started maybe on Firebase Z.
Maybe that. Maybe yeah. Maybe.
It would have made a lot
Here's
more sense, I feel.
here's what I think. Right. I like Firebase Z because there's cutscenes and because there's a lot of cool stuff. You know, having to align the satellite and stuff like that. That interests
Yeah.
me. That's my kind of thing. I like the extended cutscenes of Maxis coming out of the thing. This is just what I'm into. I like cutscenes and I like animation. That's the stuff that I like. Is if a door opens nice, ding 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 ding, and all that. I like that, and I like cutscenes. I like the fact that these maps Easter egg. If you just play the Easter egg, Cold War plays more like missions in a campaign more than it does an arcadey game. That's what I like about
Yeah.
Cold War a lot. The fact that Firebase Z feels less like a zombies map and more like I'm here to do something and then leave. And the fact that once you've
Nah.
completed it, you leave. I like that, but I get why people don't like that because,
That is exactly why I don't think it's better
and that's fair
than,
enough.
yeah.
That's fair enough because I think, I said this, I think zombies, if they really want to change it up without fucking everything, they should keep round based forever, but have a split off campaign mode, sort of like Left 4 Dead. You
Yeah.
know, just do that sort. If you really want to change it up, do something good instead of just making shit up on the spot. Go zombies campaign with missions, objectives to complete, you know, things to do, cutscenes.
Yeah.
That's how
And
you make zombies new and fresh. And keep round base for the love of God. Every time you keep trying to get rid of it, people just pull their pitchforks out. It's not good. Don't try and get rid of the game mode that everyone loves. Make a second game
speaking
mode that's actually worth playing, unlike Outbreak, which we'll get to.
speaking about something that people won't play, technically in chronological order, I guess you could say.
Outbreak, I left it at the end of the
Outbreak.
list so we could go through the round base maps and then close on Outbreak.
Fair enough.
So
Fair
let's go
enough.
to Mauer first. I love Mauer.
Yes,
Mauer's a really
Mauer.
good map.
Mauer is my favorite.
I
I
would
will say
agree.
Mauer is my favorite.
I would agree.
It's
Mauer's
one
my
of
favorite.
those. It's a dark map. It's the first time we were basically we got what we were sort of promised, kind of, I guess, like that dark-esque, haunting type of map.
Yeah, it's like
It was a city on fire.
yeah, it was like Shadows
That
of Evil done properly. It's a city, but
exactly.
it doesn't look like people are still knocking about in the city like Shadows does. It looks like the world is coming to an end. It looks like there is something that's actually terrible, something terrible that's actually happened. Buildings have been like semi-collapsed, fires
Yeah.
everywhere. You know, I like that. At least it's a little bit more scary. The scariest bit of Mauer is definitely the tunnels underground at the subway station.
Oh yeah, because you never know if those trains are ever going to be
It's
coming.
not incredibly spooky. The hotel section, I guess, is kind of spooky, especially with that guy that's been strangled by the robot. That's cool.
Yeah.
Um, but the scariest bits are definitely before you turn the power on downstairs when it's pitch black and the train goes past with all the flaming corpses on it.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's like hellish. Yeah, I like Klaus as well. Everyone loves Klaus.
My name is Klaus.
Not that Klaus, the robot Klaus. Yeah. I like the Easter egg in Mauer
Yeah.
as well. It's quite fun. The one thing that I don't like about the Mauer Easter egg is doing that.
What was the amount of
uranium
time it
step.
took for us?
Yeah, the uranium step. I mean, the boss fight is fun if your teammate running Ring of Fire doesn't die, and it takes. I cut a good fucking 20 minutes out of that boss fight for the video.
It was a half an hour.
I cut a
Yeah.
majority of the boss fight out.
I was fighting solo for a half an hour.
I was begging him to just quit. I was begging him like, just quit. Let's
got-
say we
yeah,
didn't
we-
do it.
We
Move
got
on.
through. Yeah, Mauer, all round, really, really good.
I really like Mauer. Forsaken, however,
Forsaken,
I'm not sure
in
how
the
I feel
middle
about
range.
Forsaken. Yeah,
in the middle.
it's middle. It's mid.
Yeah.
Mid tier.
It's
The
not
boss
bad.
fight. The
It's
boss
not
fight's kind of
brilliant.
fun. Boss fight's kind of fun.
I
The
I
cutscenes
personally
are cool as
felt
well. I
it
like
was
cutscenes.
lazy.
Really?
I felt it was a lazy thing to do.
What? Because it goes
It
back to
was
red
just
light, green light.
exactly. They just ripped it from the campaign. This is where we sort of get into that sleazy, or that lazy type of work ethic. I feel where instead of giving us something interesting,
Yeah.
They just take something that's already been built by another team, pop it in, and add a few changes here and there. Like they made the only thing I think they made was that underground sort of section in it, and maybe the tower they built. But oh yeah, and it's probably the ending part. But even then, so it was just it's an extension of that area. I didn't like it.
Fair
I
enough.
didn't think it
That's
was
fair enough.
that good.
I don't really have a problem with reusing assets, as long as it's done properly. I don't really have a problem with it because
If it was halfway
Varukht,
through, then
Varukht is a reused asset. Not
yeah.
is a reused asset. Shinonuma isn't. Deriz isn't. 5 technically is a reused asset. Ascension is somewhat a reused asset. I can go on.
Yeah,
A
it's fair
lot
enough.
of the fan favorite
I
maps
just
are reused
felt,
assets.
but the one thing about it is that it wasn't an ending map. This was an ending map, and
Yeah.
this is where we're going to get into something that was a similarity. Basically, you'll see between Cold War and Vanguard. This one ended on a reused asset map. I liked the ending for it. I thought the ending for it was perfect.
Yeah.
That's the one good thing I would say about this map is the ending was really fun.
What, the boss fight into cutscene?
The boss fight into the cutscene, into the reveal. I thought it was a good reveal, and it sets it up for another good sort of thing, like
Yeah.
where it sets up the whole outcome of Outbreak.
Yeah. I actually
Yeah,
can't wait to see where it goes.
I'm interested, but do I think it was better?
Better than what?
Than the previous maps?
Previous games or the previous
Yeah, oh
maps
yeah, it's the
in
previous games.
Right.
I don't think so.
Okay, so
As a
first of
whole,
all,
I don't think. Yeah.
in order, D
Well,
Machine,
we haven't gone to
Firebase.
Outbreak.
I know.
Oh
In
yeah,
order, D Machine,
of course.
Firebase, Mauer, and Forsaken.
Yeah,
I'd
mine
say...
would be.
Yeah, go
Well,
on,
if you want to go first, go ahead.
Oh,
Yeah,
there
go
you
ahead. Go ahead. You do it.
we said the exact same shit.
There we go.
I would say probably Forsaken's probably at the bottom of ones that I want to play. Then D Machine, then Firebase, then Mauer.
Okay.
That's in order of
Mine's-
maps. When I load up Cold War, what am I going to click? I'm probably going to click Mauer or Firebase.
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to click Forsaken unless I have to, and I'm probably not going to click D Machine simply because I did the camo grind on D Machine. I've played it so many fucking times.
I did my
that I
camo
just
grinds
don't
on
need to play anymore.
Firebase.
Well, there you go. Maybe
Which I
that's why you
think
don't like it
is
so much.
why
Because that's the same sort of
I'm
attitude I
going-
have to D Machiner.
exactly, which is why I'm going to be putting it as Firebase last,
Go on.
Forsaken is second to last, then it's D Machine, and then the top one is Mauer.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. Now let's discuss Outbreak, which I consider to be a separate
Very
game.
swiftly. Yeah.
I consider Outbreak to be a completely different game from the round-based maps. Outbreak was a bad idea, or maybe it was an okay idea and it was executed very poorly. Outbreak is simply not fun. Nobody in their right mind is loading up Cold War because they want to have a quick go on Outbreak.
Yeah.
Nobody. Outbreak is not good. Outbreak is not fun. Playing Outbreak just to play it, not trying to do any of the Easter eggs, is boring as
Not worth
fuck.
Yeah.
And playing Outbreak to do the Easter eggs is stressful as fuck, especially the Legion boss fight. Sucks. Sucks so bad.
I would never want to. But
And the server stability, you have to start the Easter eggs on round 3 and you finish them on average on round 4 or 5. Legion finishes on round 5.
that's only if you can get everybody to
Outbreak
the end.
Outbreak Easter egg 2 ends on round 4, and just by the whim of the zombies gods, your teammate gets kicked just as you're about to finish it every fucking time. Every time. And it's about a 1 in 100. It's a 1 in 100 chance that you will be able to rejoin that lobby, which means for us, we had so much fun restarting Outbreak over and over and over again from round 1 because I got kicked and because Tyler's PC broke and
Each
overheated
one
and
would take
crashed.
a scrap.
It took so long. which is why the drop of the Cold War special was delayed because of Outbreak. Because of Outbreak. Everything else, the video would have come out on time with no issues if Outbreak wasn't a part of that game. Outbreak is not good.
Oh,
Do you think Outbreak's good?
Yeah. The only part I really liked about Outbreak was the unique area. For Outbreak 1, I loved the bunker. The
True.
nuclear warhead bunker.
They could have
I
used that for
thought
Forsaken
that
instead
was-
of Greenlight.
Exactly. That was really, really cool. I like that design. It was fun, and the Easter egg steps in that were also really fun. It's just the ending was terrible.
Yeah.
Because they just decided, let's ram it up to 1,000 and let it rip, basically.
Yeah.
Outbreak 2,
It's
better
alright.
than 1, I think. I actually did like
less
it. It was
hair
dark.
ripping. Less ripping my hair
Yeah.
out than Legion. But
Getting to the area was fun. It was.
I really like those escort bubble sections in Outbreak 2 and Forsaken where you have to walk in the bubble.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
that. That's fun.
That was fun. The whole building and like where they just executed all the people on that place there, that was really, really
Pretty dark.
insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was good to see that level of design coming back where it's like, hey, this isn't an 80s action movie. This is meant to be some scary stuff. This is
Yeah.
war crimes.
And it's dark
that
and war
was-
crimes. It's nice to go back
It was
to that.
it was
which, again,
exactly.
it dips its toes back into why I like Cold War more than Black Ops 3 and 4. Is that it goes back to the evil scientist, war crimes, holy shit, what is going on?
Yeah.
Which was missing. As far as I can tell, missing from BO3 and 4.
Literally.
But the Order boss fight, you can argue, is a bit of a letdown. That it was just a reuse of the Order. It would have been cool if it was a custom enemy like Legion was. Probably would have fit better if they made a custom enemy. But, you know, oh well. It's not really that big of a
Same as
deal.
always.
It's why I didn't include it in the round-based map list, because it's just sort of,
Exactly.
it's its own thing that's sort of like, if it was free to play, then maybe they'd get away with it. You know what I mean? That's how I feel about
I
it.
know.
Anyway, though,
Yeah.
Cold War
As a
improvement
whole, I
on
would-
BO4, I would say it's an improvement.
first of all, as a whole, I would put Outbreak below
Oh, it's dead
round
off.
based.
It's dead
If
off,
I would
yeah.
put, yeah, if I was to include them, I would put them below my current selections.
Yeah.
It just was not fun.
No, it's not
Yeah.
at all.
As you were saying, with if it's better or worse.
I would say it's an improvement on BO4. Maybe, I don't know what I would rather play. I'd probably rather play Black Ops 3 than Cold War. It's definitely not one of the best, but while you're playing it, I think I have more fun playing Cold War than I have in BO4, maybe even BO3. But it's just because it's the same reason why people love Black Ops 3 so much. It was the game that I started. It was the game that I really put all of my effort into. While everyone was banging out Black Ops 3, I was banging out Cold War. That's why I like
Yeah.
Cold War the same way that people like Black Ops 3. And I acknowledge that that is sort of a bullshit reason. So if I'm looking at it pragmatically, which people don't do when they're looking at Black Ops 3 and they say it's the best, looking at it pragmatically, I would say Cold War is probably not one of the best. It's probably closer to the bottom. Sure.
Fair enough.
What would you say?
I would give Cold War below Black Ops 4. Like I said, the fact that it was all 80s based and it was more America versus Russia, I just didn't like it. I'm tired of that, you know. It's like,
It was new
yeah,
for zombies,
sure,
though.
go for it in the campaign, but getting a campaign about that and then still on top of that a zombies idea now, like it's a full shift away. I didn't feel like I was playing zombies all that much. I felt like I was watching a drama show of some
That's fair enough.
weird thing. It just didn't feel like zombies.
That's fair enough. I like...
Maxis inheriting the Dark Ether
Yeah,
and then killing a giant creature
by flying into its belly and disappearing and maybe dead.
Exactly. It's just like, what is this? Well, what is this?
That's fair enough,
This is back to like
Gorod Crovey type of stuff. I'm like, what's going on?
Don't say it's the same level as Crowley with dragons flying around.
It's
Don't
just
do that.
I don't know. It's like she inherits the power. She starts flying, and then she just like kills the thing, and just
No, but
I don't know.
she's been in the Dark Ether long enough to be infused with the
Of
power.
course,
That's where that comes from.
but it's the
And
fact of the power.
But she was in charge of the. She was in the Moon device, in charge of the zombies. World at War, Black Ops 1. You know what I mean? Like, she's not just some random woman, Tyler. You've got to remember.
I know that.
It's not it's not out of the question of all characters Max's to have some.
Well, that's why I'm
magic
currently giving you
powers.
my opinion.
I know, yeah.
Because
I
don't know exactly what Maxis is.
The fact
and
that
all
she
type of
flies
stuff.
like Wonder Woman, yeah, that's bullshit. That's dumb. I don't think that.
I
makes
just
much
like the
sense.
idea of there being weapons. That there's weapons of destruction. You know, there's these like different types of weapons, the D machine, the ray gun, and all that stuff. Things that are infused together, or objects, not people. I don't know about that. It's kind of like Shadow Man and all that type of stuff. That's how I looked at it.
She's sort of set up as a demigod figure. Is what she's sort of. Anyway,
And that's that would be my Black Ops. That's my Black Ops Cold War roundup.
fair enough. Let's move.
And
into...
now onto what I wish we could disregard as a whole and just forget even
let's
existed.
roll credits.
Thank you for watching, everybody.
Thank you for watching. Vanguard is the worst piece of shit. Get that rock man. It's the worst piece of dog. It's the biggest piece of dog shit ever.
Literally.
Duran
I don't even know.
Duran Fang might as well not exist. If you hated Forsaken because it was a reuse of campaign, you're gonna love Duran
We're getting
Fang.
into this.
You're gonna love Duran Fang because it's just multiplayer maps with no changes at all. The hub world is Red Star or whatever they call
Duran
it.
Fang was that PlayStation years as exclusive thing that they
Cold
got in
War.
Cold War.
Yeah, it was
It
a
was
mix.
this exclusive thing.
It was a mix of Outbreak and Onslaught from Cold War, and it was the worst of both worlds. It was so boring. I hated every second of it. I hated every second of it. I really did not.
And there
want
was
to
an
play it.
Easter egg in it. I will lie. There was sort of an Easter egg.
And that's why we didn't
wasn't
even
even
bother
worth it.
playing Duran Fang. Is that there's the start of an Easter egg in it that doesn't go
just
anywhere,
never
so
did
there's
anything.
no point doing it. And you're
They
just playing
abandoned it.
multiplayer maps. You're going to get the same gameplay. This is the worst bit. You get the exact same gameplay out of Duran Fang that you do in Terra Maledicta. So you might as well just play the one that's got the Easter egg in it and not bother playing Duran Fang.
Exactly.
You might
And
as
this
well
is where it
just
gets
not
fun
fucking bother.
because they do the same thing again in the same game. This is where it just gets to full levels of hatred towards us. We move on to Terra Maledicta.
Our
Now,
favourite.
going into it, I thought it was a step up, obviously from Duran Fang. It was okay. It was annoying as hell to listen to these people talk. I did not want to hear them.
I cut a lot of it. I cut a lot of it, and
Shield-
there's still so much in the video.
Exactly. The shield, it was okay,
It's dumb.
but I didn't like it because it was too bright. It was a daytime map. It wasn't fun.
Daytime map in the desert. Zombies just fucking there, I guess, for no reason.
Exactly.
Teleport to some place in Germany for no reason, and survive a couple of waves of zombies, and then timer's up. Thanks everyone. Back to the map. You know what I mean? Like
Exactly. It's
like
just,
I said, it's like Mario Party, but really shit.
these mini waves of things is just not fun.
Not fun in the fucking slightest. I tell you what was fun.
Boring
Though.
Easter egg as well.
Tell you what was fun. That flag that I pointed out, the the Divarhite flag that was hanging on the wall. That was a really cool flag. It's a shame that they didn't put that everywhere in the game instead of replacing the swastikas with iron crosses.
Of course not.
That Divarhite flag was so cool. That was a really fucking cool flag that they should have used more often. I tell you what we didn't point out in the video though, is that Divarhite flag was mirrored. They'd put it in backwards. The text on the flag was backwards. It was mirrored. So the one cool thing about Terra Maledicta was fucked because they'd put it in back to front. They'd place the flag on the wall upside down.
Oh, but it was not fun.
No, Terra Maledicta's dog shit. Hold on, no.
Go ahead.
I didn't even realise we'd finished the Easter egg because it just randomly stops. You feel like
Yeah, it
something
just gives you a
interesting is going to
bunch of
happen.
loot, and then that's it.
You feel like something interesting is about to happen, and it just stops. You get some loot, and it's like, okay, here's your reward for playing the Easter egg. Have fun. And it's like, what? You think I'm going to continue playing after the... No. I've completed the Easter egg. I am now going to close the fucking game. You think I'm going to continue playing Terra Maledicta?
Exactly.
And you think I'm going to go out of my way to listen to those cunts yammer so that I can get a free triple pack? The time it takes to listen to them talk, you might as well just grind the points to get the triple pack.
Literally.
Anyway, fuck Terra Maledicta, it's dog shit. Shinonuma Remake, best map in the game, still not fun to play.
Yeah, I would say probably the best option that we have, Shinonuma.
Yeah.
It was a good return. I liked it. It was... The thing is with these maps is that they're quite forgettable, even though we literally only played it 2 weeks ago, and I've still forgotten it.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting it. It's just...
Shinonuma, if you're ever going to download Vanguard, it's to play Shinonuma. And even then,
Basically.
it's listening once again to a lot of talking with convenient breaks in the dialogue for laugh track. You know what I mean? Like, it's so hard to get
That was the
through.
funniest thing, was the delayed responses to each conversation.
That's
That was
how
the
you
funniest
know
thing.
your game is good, when we are bent double dying of laughter because of how shit it is. That's how you know it's a good game. Shinonuma is the best you will get out of Vanguard, and it ain't good enough to justify even getting the game for free. Genuinely. You might as well just play Shinonuma in World of War.
Yeah.
And it's really painful to say that, because it was a remake of like a fan favourite game from, 15 years ago? And you might as well just get the 15-year-old game. It runs better and it's more fun.
And now it's time for everybody's favorites. Terra Maledicta with a Matrix filter.
Yeah, the Terra Maledicta Matrix game. It's awful. It's the worst. I wish I never played it. I don't even know what to say about
the
it.
worst thing was so them having Forsaken and Duran Fang being just remakes or just copy over from other modes in the thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, Forsaken was campaign.
What could possibly be
and
worse?
Fang was multiplayer.
What could possibly
What's even
be
worse
than
is
that?
not just reusing a zombies map from the game, using it from the same game.
Yeah.
Literally 2 maps before, and it wasn't even the first one brought back to the end.
No.
This was literally the second map and the fourth map.
It was.
They were the exact same.
Imagine, if you will, you're playing Vanguard during its life cycle like we were. Duran Fang is dog shit. Terra Maledicta gets teased and you're interested. It comes out, it's the same gameplay as Duran Fang and it's dog shit. They finally get the message and make a round-based map, while it was treated as if it's difficult to make round-based maps. Whereas like the simple bullshit they were doing for Duran Fang and Terra Maledicta was way easier, which is why they were doing that instead. We're supposed to believe it took them 6 months? It took them 6 months after release, plus the development time of the game, to remaster Shinonuma, a map that already existed.
Yeah.
I don't believe it. I think they were.
This is the thing.
I think they were all in on this new gameplay design, and it's dog shit. And they were told it's dog shit. 2 maps in a row. People said, "I don't like this. I'm not going to play it." So they had to swiftly come up with a round-based map, which happened to be, let's remake a map that's quickest. That's where Shinonuma came from. I think that's the reality of it. And the Archon,
Literally.
after Shinonuma comes out, and you're like, okay, so there's hope. There's a round-based map, and it's Shinonuma, and it's okay. It's okay in comparison to the 2 plates of shite that you've been served with Duran Fang and Terra Maledicta. You're like, okay, Shinonuma's okay, and it's a round-based map, so there is hope for the next map, and maybe the map after, because bearing in mind people thought there was going to be more, might be fun. And then the Archon is released, and it's just Terra Maledicta again. 4 months later, maybe a little bit longer than 4 months, they released the same map again.
We literally went, I think it was 2 seasons without a zombies release.
And after that fucking wait, it was the same map again. It's infuriating.
So people were begging and pleading, please, can we have another zombies map? And they just kept on ignoring. And then when it was like they just kept on getting pestered and pestered, it was just like, fine, we'll make another one. they just re-released the same crap. It's just, it was not fun.
It's
It was the
unacceptable.
worst. It was the worst.
It's Glenfiddich kicking. It's
But
unacceptable.
yeah, terrible.
It's unacceptable.
As
Vanguard
a
is
whole,
the worst.
as an overall roundup, I would just put Durangfang, Terra Maledicta, and the Archon
In the
dead
bin.
last.
In the bin. And Shino Numa
And
is like on the
Shino
floor
mid.
next to the bin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Vanguard Zombies is at the bottom.
Fully at the bottom doesn't.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
It's literally the gravel. It's the gravel that you
It's-
step on to get to the stairs.
It's the worst. It's the fucking worst. It fell all the way down the stairs and then fell through the floor at the bottom step, and it's in the basement. It's the worst.
I hate it. But
And it
yeah,
genuinely,
let's hope.
not only is it a bad game, it has genuinely put the future of zombies in doubt. This game was so bad that people aren't even sure if they are ever going to trust Treyarch with making a zombies game again, if they're ever going to play zombies again. There's rumors that Modern Warfare 3 is supposed to have zombies.
That is
and
what I'm
people
worried about.
are worried. People aren't even excited. Normally you get a rumor that a game's going to have zombies in it, and you're like, oh, okay, cool, I can't wait to check it out. There's a rumor that Modern Warfare 3 is going to have a zombies mode, and people are shitting their pants that it's going to be yet another terrible game. Because if you have yet another Vanguard back to back, zombies is dead. If no one plays it and it don't make money, Activision will just simply pull the plug on it. And zombies will
That's
no
a
longer
shame.
exist. And a lot of people, here's something that I really have a problem with. A lot of people blame Activision for zombies being bad. It is not Activision, it's Treyarch. It's a little bit of Activision, a little bit of Treyarch. It ain't just Activision that's causing these problems. Listen, Nacht der Untoten is better than Vanguard.
Is
And Nacht der Untoten was invented by one
as a
guy
test map.
in his head at Treyarch, someone that had passion, a team that had passion for what they were making. Even if you give me a map with nothing to do, as long as you actually give a shit about the job you are doing while you're making that map, it will be fun to play. And it became very obvious during Vanguard that Treyarch team, the zombies team, they was like, they're overworked, they've only had a year to make zombies for it. What? And they suddenly forgot how to make fun maps. Like a time constraint is the reason they tried to make Outbreak good. Outbreak is just a bad idea. That ain't about money, that ain't about time, that's a bad idea. And after people told them Outbreak was a bad idea, they still tried to bring it into Vanguard. And people keep making excuses that it's Activision's fault, and it is not Activision's fault.
It's not.
It's Treyarch. It's all of the people in Treyarch that made all of the really good decisions have left. The original Zombies team that made your favorite map, that fucker is gone. It's a new team. And they don't have the same passion, and it's quite obvious that they don't have the same passion. It's quite obvious at this point that Zombies is a cash cow. It's not a mode that they want to make and that they're excited to make. It's a mode that they have to make. And it's starting to feel like a chore for them to make it more than a passion project.
I feel, as bad as it would be, to get back to that level of continuity, I feel they should start be charging for this again. I honestly do think that we should be getting paid zombies maps, because I think since that, it sort of just took a downward spiral, and it was like...
But Black Ops 4 was bad.
I don't know, but even then, so Black Ops 4, I think they had like the season pass.
It's a different genre of bad.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Cold War was the beginning for me. It was like that beginning downward spiral, like fully into the abyss. Black Ops 4 was bad, but it was still zombies to an extent.
Fair enough.
Cold War just was not zombies to me. It just felt like I don't even know.
They
They
tried to.
took what was
They altered round
zombies and
based.
put it.
They
Yeah,
altered round based, and to be honest with you, out of all of the changes to round based, I think Cold War is the most playable. Um,
probably.
but I get why people don't like it. I'm not really sure what can be done to save zombies. I think what needs to
If there
happen
is anything.
is that they need to make something that they enjoy making, and there needs to be a team that actually cares, and not a team of people that are just making something because they've been told to make it. A team of people that are making something because it needs to be made. Instead of it like,
Yeah.
we've been told that we need to make a zombies mode, it needs to be like, I would like to make a zombies mode. This game needs a zombies mode. There are tons of people out there that will make better maps than Treyarch at this point. Black Ops 3 modded maps are better than the modern Treyarch maps at this point. Whose fault is that? Whose fault is it? Is it that Activision isn't giving them enough time and isn't giving them enough money to make it? How does that argument stand when there are guys in their bedrooms making better maps than the Treyarch team with no fucking money being given to them by Activision? Is it really
Exactly.
Activision's fault? No.
All you have to do is look at Nightmare. All
Exactly.
you have to do is look at that.
When the team had a passion for it, when I can't remember his name, but the guy that was directing it, that did the Origins and all that, Black Ops 2, the end of Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3, they had a passion for what they were doing. Even if you don't like the maps, I don't like a lot of the maps, you can see they had a passion for it. Black Ops 4, something went wrong. Something went wrong in Black Ops 4, and it never regained itself in Cold War, and especially in Vanguard. Vanguard was like, I don't think the Zombies team made Vanguard Zombies. I think like 5 of them made Vanguard Zombies. But I could be dead wrong.
It definitely felt, yeah.
And, fucking, what are they called? Audience alert. We are drinking whiskey.
Yes.
So our opinions are, alcoholic.
No, I still think this is legit, like, stuff, Like,
I don't know. Maybe I went a bit too harsh on them. I'm not sure.
no, not at all.
I'm not
Honestly,
sure.
I feel it's...
I don't want to sound
it
like a
is
know-it-all
getting...
because I don't know what happened behind closed doors. All I can have is my opinion. A lot of people blame Activision for it. I think at least some constructive criticism, at least some constructive criticism needs to be aimed at Treyarch, because Treyarch at the end of the day are responsible for making something. If you say, right, if there's a band that's like, I really want to make this album, if you give them a $5, they'll stretch that $5 and make the album. But if you have a pop star that isn't even real and you give them $1 million to make an album, the album's going to be shit. Money isn't the problem. The problem is that the people that really have a passion and want to make it aren't there anymore.
And
That's what the
ones
problem
who
is.
are there aren't doing anything.
And at this point,
People who are there now.
there might just need to be a different game. Maybe Call of Duty Zombies. Maybe Call of Duty Zombies is gone, and if you want that experience, you need a different game to have the same sort of essence, but not a Call of Duty anymore. Maybe a different game needs to take over that. And there was hope.
Like nowadays,
I think it's Jason Blundell. That's his name. There was a hope that his new company was going to do something like that, and he's already quit his new company before the games come out. So no one really knows at this point. There was hopes that his new company was going to bring spice in and make something, and he's already quit. Before their first products even come out, he's already quit it. So no one has any idea. All we can do is cross our fingers and toes and hope.
what was the guy's name again?
Jason Blundell, I think is his name.
Jason Blundell. There he
Again,
is.
we are noobs, everyone.
Of course, yes.
All we can do is cross our fingers and toes and hope if Modern Warfare 3 does have zombies, it's going to be co-developed by Sledgehammer again, like Vanguard. And all we can do is hope that it's passable. It's probably not going to be great, but the next Black Ops game needs to bang. The zombies reveal for the next Black Ops game has to be exactly the same as Black Ops 1 and 2. It has to play like zombies. You have to start with your pistol. You have to buy your guns and your perks. You need to play zombies like you've been playing zombies since World at War, before BO4 and Cold War and Vanguard tried to change it. If they really want to revitalise zombies and bring it back to the shining star that it was as a game mode, They need
A lot they need to do.
They need to just fucking cancel and drag all of the changes they've made and drop them in the bin. And they need to remake World at War, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, and some of Black Ops 3's identity. They need to bring it back to the game mode that people actually fucking like playing. You know?
Yeah.
Stop trying to reinvent the wheel and go back to that circular wheel that worked fine 10 years ago. You know?
I don't think it would be difficult. It's literally just
If the next
do
Black Ops,
research
if the next
into
Black Ops
it.
game, if the next Black Ops game teases zombies and it's Black Ops 1, 2, 3-esque, it's golden. But if it
That's all
isn't,
we want.
if they're like, no, we really think Outbreak's good. We internally think Outbreak's great. We don't give a fuck what you think internally. You're selling the product to us. If we think
People are
Outbreak
gonna
is
buy
bad, just do yourself a favour, pull that plaster off, just rip the plaster off, accept that people don't like your crazy idea, accept that it's not a good idea and people don't want it, and go back to what people do want, which is Deriza, it's Kino de Toten, it's Moon, it's Mob of the Dead. That's what people want. That's why people are still fucking playing those games. That's why the most popular videos on YouTube right now are people playing Black Ops 1 and 2 and 3 again.
Yeah.
That's why those videos are so popular. I mean, I don't like talking about views. It's a beginner channel. We ain't hitting the big leagues, obviously. But our most viewed videos are Black Ops 3 because people like Black Ops 3. People care about Black Ops 3. You know? It's quite fucking obvious what people want. Stop coming up with new ideas that people don't want. Just open your fucking eyes for a second and make the shit that people clearly want, which is Black Ops 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's what people want. Just go and do that again. Bite the bullet, accept your new ideas ain't really that fucking good, and just remake, not literally remake Black Ops 1, 2, and 3, but make zombies great again.
Mabba.
I am the chosen one.
What was it?
Somebody had to do it.
Muzga.
Muzga. Somebody had to do it. I am the chosen one. It's called We Do a Little Kino. We do a little Kino. Anyway.
But anyways, yes.
There's the angry rant about zombies.
Yeah. Let's move on to what we think the order is, I guess, of all the games.
Vanguard at the bottom, Black Ops 4 after Vanguard, Cold War after Black Ops 4, and then I don't even know in which order I would arrange World at War 1, 2, and 3. I would probably say, for my personal experience, World at War probably comes after Cold War. Fuck. 1, 2, and 3 are probably tied in my mind. Games that I want to play, 1, 2, and 3 are probably tied. But that's purely nostalgia. World at War isn't in there because there's they haven't done, there's not enough source in World at War because they were still developing it. So Black Ops 1 is the true start to zombies. 2 is the development, and 3 is like the most playable.
Yeah.
And we ain't talking about mods.
3 is the user friendly.
I'm not involved in mods here. I'm just talking about shit that comes on the disc. 1, 2, and 3. I don't know what order the order would probably be juggled, but Black Ops 1, 2, and 3 are at the top for me. World at War below that, and then the rest of them, Cold War into BO4 and Vanguard at the bottom. That's what I would say.
Now, for me, I'd start off the same. Vanguard obviously is going to be at the bottom.
Really?
Then I would put it as Cold War.
Okay.
So it's Vanguard, Cold War, Black Ops 4, Black Ops 1,
all right.
World at War,
weird, okay,
Black Ops 3,
right.
And then Black Ops 2.
And that's completely fair enough. I would agree with you some days. I don't know about
Reason
World at War
being-
being better than Black Ops 1, but I would
Reason
agree
why
with
I'm
you in that
saying
final list some days.
Is because World at War felt unique. It felt like a nice and fun experience.
Yes.
Black Ops 1 sort of twisted away from that. It was still good. I really do like it. Don't get me wrong. Just because I put it there doesn't mean that I think it's terrible.
Yeah.
It's mainly because I struggled to find where to put them. So I would put Black Ops 1 and World at War basically as the same game because they basically were gonna have the same game. Kino was either a World at War or a Black Ops 1 title. So I still classify them as one. That's my take.
Yeah. The line between World at War and Black Ops 1 is very soft. It's not a hard change. You can go from one to the other and not notice much difference.
And obviously, yeah, Vanguard is terrible. Cold Wars, I still didn't like it. Black Ops 4 was fun. It was fun to play. It was very colorful, but it didn't feel like a zombies game all that much. I liked the chaos story, but that's not zombies. Black Ops 1 and World at War, it was a nice grit start to it with dark.
That's what I like. That's why I'm
a little bit of humor as well.
That's why I'm not sure about the placement of Black Ops 3 because it doesn't have that grit like World at War and Black Ops 1 and 2 have.
Black Ops 3 didn't have the grit, but the reason I'm putting it there is not just because of sort of the maps as a whole. It was the fun that I had on it, and just a game as the game as a whole. Yeah, I'm less on story, almost more as in feel and what I get from it.
Exactly. It
does still kind of feel like zombies, especially with the Eisendrache.
Yeah, I don't like the guns.
It does still feel like zombies.
I don't like the space age guns, and I think the story is weird, and I think they lost a lot of grit. If it was more gritty, if it was still based on Nazi conspiracy theories, and it was set modern time, we still haven't had a modern zombies game. If Black Ops 3 was set in the when did it come out? 2016, I think, range, something like that.
Yeah.
If the zombies was set modern, it had M4s and it had pick a modern gun, right? If it was Treyarch's answer to Modern Warfare, put it that way, guns like that with more grit and a story that's still focused on actual real-world conspiracy theories, Black Ops 3 would be the best game ever. So if the next Black Ops game is what I've just described, it's going to be my favourite. There we go.
Well, it's going to be 90s, the assumed
90s is good.
Is it 90s?
That's the theory, that it's going to be Gulf War. Black Ops Gulf War. But 90s is fine. 90s is modern enough. 90s is Arma 2.
Yeah.
It's modern enough.
Exactly. But then I've got Black Ops 2, because Black Ops 2 is just goated for me. I really had the most amount of fun as a kid and as now in Black Ops 2.
Black Ops 2 is your game, the same way Black Ops 3 is a load of people's games, and Cold War is my game, because I wasn't really super into it until Cold War. I just
feel like every single map was unique. There was no sort of repeats. Transit was unique for its sake. It was a dark map that you go around on a bus and was really cool aesthetically.
They need to remake
Transit. High-rise is fun. It was a daytime in a high-rise building. It was really interesting. It might not have been the best, but still,
it was a good idea.
As a feel,
it was executed poorly.
Buried.
Buried, yeah, good map. It's a good
map. It still started on a somewhat high-rise, which I was like, but it
the oil rig
swiftly
in the
changed
nowhere,
into it changed into that feeling of this is a cowboy map. This is a western. It's really, really cool.
We are truly
haunting thing later on. Mob of the Dead, the introduction of Alcatraz, such a cool idea. It just fits the dark, sort of mysterious parts of Alcatraz and like the haunting that still goes on apparently to that, like in real life.
Yeah.
Putting that into a zombies perfect.
The one thing I don't like about Mob of the Dead is that it takes a break from the story. I know it's supposed to take a break. It's like a spin-off. The fact that it's like occult and satanic-y more than it is anything to do with the story leading up to that point, which would be completely fine if then later on down the line when they brought out the Higgledy-Piggledy map, they didn't try and fold it in as a separate dimension. If they just left it as a spin-off and it had nothing to do with the story, it would have been fine.
Exactly.
When they tried to fold it back in, that's when they broke the timeline. Anyway.
And then you have Origins.
Origins is epic.
Origins is cool.
It's an all-time epic map.
Yeah.
You haven't experienced it properly,
though. The World War II feeling.
It's World War One.
You are in the trenches. Is it World War One?
It's World War
I didn't
One,
even know.
Yeah.
It's that World War feeling, basically.
There we
You're
go.
in the trenches. It's got really cool, like, giant robots type of thing. Like, I can't remember what it's based on. It's like the Iron Man album cover type of robot, which I know is from something, but I can't remember
The Iron Giant.
exactly what. The Iron Giant, basically, yeah.
I just cleaned out my glass.
Very nice.
Go on, have a swig. Have an audible
Have a
swig. Come on.
swig. Let's have a little swig in it. Swigging. But yeah, I think all in all, each thing had its own unique maps, and it was just really, really fun.
That's
So
right.
yeah, that is my list.
And my
As
list
for
was
sort
before
of yeah, as for sort of maybe like our recording experiences.
Yeah, so this next section, we're done now. We're done talking
Yeah.
about the game. If you were here for the game opinions, thank you for watching. This is now going to be about us. So if you care about us, stick around. If you don't care about us, thanks for watching. I hope we were nice to your game and we weren't rude to your game.
Maybe you agree with us, maybe you don't.
Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Leave it in the comments. Ding the bell. Subscribe to the Patreon.
Leave a 5-star.
Give us the Twitch Prime sub. Anyway, yeah, favorite video. So recording experiences. This is the next segment. It's recording experiences. What it was like for us to do our first series ever on YouTube to break out, you know, and to solidify this channel as something that's more than just clips of me playing Warzone with my brother. So here's the thing. It was fun to begin with. Then my monitor died, and I had to get a new monitor, I decided to go with an ultra-wide one. That's just my personal preference. I wanted to try it out. It's quite cool. I had to keep recording in 16:9 to retain the aspect ratio so that it didn't feel janky watching a video, and then all of a sudden it's cinematic. You know, it would be fucking weird. So having to record in 16:9 on a 21:9 or however big this screen is, I can't remember. Yeah, having to record standard HD or 2K, standard 2K on a ultra wide screen was a bit awkward. But you know, I couldn't help it. My screen broke and I wanted an ultra wide, and then I didn't think about how that would affect YouTube. The recordings were fine. I moved on to OBS. Learning how to use OBS caused a lot of issues, which came to a point in Alpha Omega when I had to change completely how I was using OBS. But it seems okay. Seems alright. No real issues with it. And then when it came towards the end with Cold War and Vanguard, Tyler had to take over recording, which he hadn't done before. Let's just say it's not a very polished series. There are some things that went wrong, and I will openly admit there are some things that went wrong, some things that I would change. Habits. But exactly, we're going to have to learn how to do this shit, and this series is our learning experience, learning how to use OBS. Me learning how to edit I'm using DaVinci because it's free. Having to get an external hard drive so Tyler can hand deliver those fucking files to me, so that I can plug them in and edit myself, because he's not editing. I'm obviously not going to give him the password to my fucking Gmail, and that's no offense to him. I don't think he's going to do anything or steal my identity. It's just you're not supposed to. Here's one thing. Maybe in the future we're considering making a new channel that's shared, so that if we ever do series like this where we do something together, it will go on a shared channel, and then we'll have our own individual channels to do our own individual stuff. That might be a future plan, because then at that point he doesn't have to give me the videos. He can edit them himself and upload them himself onto our shared channel, right? Yeah, I mean, him recording was basically, since the beginning I was learning how to record, right? I've done some series on YouTube before and I deleted them because I was 13 and I didn't want to keep that on YouTube. So I have done some stuff before. I'm not a complete beginner. I am somewhat of a beginner. I am a total 100% beginner to OBS, and DaVinci, but I'm not a beginner to recording in general. I've done it before. Tyler, however, has not. To
be fair,
yeah, we've both done.
I have done it, but it's not a proper.
You've not done
thing.
Right. So from World at War all the way through until Black Ops 4, I was learning, but then Cold War and Vanguard, Tyler's in charge of recording, and all those lessons that I've learned, he hasn't learned them. So once you get to Cold War and Vanguard, there are issues that have already been resolved in the ones that I've recorded. For instance, Discord notifications are back on and stuff like that, right? Which is frustrating, but it's not that it's not that much of a big deal, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't.
And obviously, being that we recorded the whole games, so, like sort of being
one second. If you were watching a 100,000 subscriber channel or like a million subscriber channel and Discord notifs were popping off, yeah, it frustrates me editing the video and hearing ba-dum ba-dum and all that in the background. Whatever, it's 2 videos, and that will never happen again because, fingers crossed, I won't have to have Tyler recording for me anymore because I'll be doing different stuff like the Black Ops 3 campaign, which is a plan that's coming up. That'll be me recording. And if anything I do solo will be me recording, and I won't have to worry about all of that shit. It is frustrating that there are Discord notifications, but I'm not having a go at Tyler, and I'm not beating him up, and I ain't going to go around his house and break his kneecaps. It's just shit that I learnt that he didn't. And that's fair enough.
The problem is, because of that, is that when we've been recording this series, each one of these episodes have sort of been like individual solo episodes for each map. When it came to Cold War and Vanguard, I was recording those sort of like separately, but then we put them all into one big video. So we only had one sort of episode to do, like one giant episode, and as soon as I sent it off,
Tyler,
we would get all that sorted out. Tyler. And then as soon as we... One second, almost done.
No, let me just say this one thing, please. I am going to piss my pants, so keep them entertained while I'm gone.
All right. So basically, yes. As per se, like, we got one episode done with all the videos, say for Cold War. I would hand that over, and then we would go... I would hand it over, and then we would go straight into Vanguard. Now, I would only sort of find out a little bit about this type of stuff as we're recording it, because we wouldn't record all the episodes in one sitting, because sometimes it just takes a little bit too difficult. So basically, yeah, it's getting that sort of done, and then trying to learn. The more I guess I can have the opportunity to record things, then the more I will learn about it. Like, even for now, what I'm hoping to do is, a few more extra series coming along. I'm hoping to maybe record some things that might be interesting, like any new type of games we might be able to do like a joint series on. Maybe I might do some stuff on some other games I'm currently playing, like say Daisy or I don't even know. Like, there's just there's a few games and stuff that I've been currently playing. Like, I don't know if the Resident Evil 4 might have been a fun thing to try out. It could have been. It's just one of those things, really. Another game that we're sort of playing at the moment is also Star Citizen, so there's not much we can do on that because it's all down to sort of when they release stuff. And so yes, welcome back.
Okay.
So yes, I was talking a little bit about the games that we play, type of thing,
yeah,
like
sure,
what we could do some recording for some extra, some extra learning opportunities. But yeah, that's basically what I would say is our ups and downs.
Oh, Angle Grinder Man's back. Fuck's sake.
Brilliant.
Right.
So,
I might retrace stuff that he's already said because I wasn't here for it, obviously. There were lessons that were learned during this process, and lessons that had to be learned, and lessons that weren't going to be learned unless we tried. There were things that I didn't like, things that I wish I could change, but can't be changed. For instance, missing upload deadlines frustrates me. I think 3 videos in total had to miss their scheduled Sunday upload, which, it had to be pushed back a week. It's a shame, but, to be blunt, there's not many people watching. So, in the grand scheme of things, we're only just starting off. It's not that big of a deal if we miss an upload. It doesn't mean I don't appreciate the people watching, and I am very truly sorry if you came here, fucking Angle Grinder. If you came here on a Sunday expecting the video to come out and it didn't, I am genuinely sorry. It felt bad for me. But maybe I'm overthinking it, Maybe when a Discord notification goes off and I feel bad, maybe I'm thinking too much into it. Maybe if I miss a Sunday upload, I'm thinking too much into it. I lean towards perfectionism, and when something isn't 10 out of 10 perfect, it does I can do better. But the problem with this series, this is where it ties in, you can't get our genuine first reaction to a map if we've already tried it and it went wrong and we do it again, because it ain't our first reaction anymore. So a lot of the rough, stuff that happens in this series ain't going to happen in a lot of the other series, because I don't want to be a bullshitter. I don't want to pretend, I don't want the thumbnail of me holding my cheeks with my mouth wide open. I don't want that. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to pretend like I've never played a map before, even though we've already tried recording it 3 times. We need to get a perfect recording. Let's pretend like we haven't seen this bit yet. Oh my God, I didn't think that was going to happen. Yeah. I didn't want to be like that. So I lent into, if it's going to be rough, it's going to be rough, but at least it's real. And also, it's long form. The content is long form. Because if I edit our first time experiencing Mob of the Dead, if I cut that down into a 10-minute, 15-minute video for convenience of the audience with short attention spans, you ain't getting our first time reaction. You ain't getting it.
Nah, it's gonna be
You can't distill our first ever playthrough of Zetsubo no Shima into 5 minutes. So the videos are long form. And I acknowledge that a lot of people don't like long form, but there is one man who I will shout out, Nicholas Hutter, who's stuck around and been commenting quite a lot. I really do appreciate you. I will shout you out because it's the beginning and it's one guy who's commented quite a lot. He appreciates that it's long form and he's asking for more long form. And there will be long form, there will be short form, there will be both. I don't want to constantly upload 1 to 2 hour videos all the time. A friend was like, wow, really? Your video's an hour and a half long? Are people going to watch that? And I'm like, well, I mean, if they want to watch it, yes. I'm not trying to honey trap people, I ain't trying to clickbait people. I ain't trying to trick people into watching my video that waffles like the guides, 10-minute videos to make as much money as possible and not really give you any information or any content. I'm here for real. These are our first genuine reactions to these maps. The video's an hour and a half long because it's an hour and a half of content. It's an hour and a half's worth of reaction to the map for the first time. I ain't going to cut the video down to 10 minutes because it might attract more, vagabond clickers on YouTube. The people that are watching this want to watch it. And that's all that matters to me. The number don't matter. I ain't here for big numbers. I ain't here for fame. I ain't here for money. I'm here to make genuine content. And if you want to watch the videos I've made, then you're watching them. And if you don't want to watch it, it's fine. I don't want to trick people into clicking on my shit. I don't want to make clickbait. I don't want to make bullshit. I don't want to make videos that need to be an hour and a half long, 10 minutes, so that people click on them. And I don't want to make videos that need to be 30 seconds, 10 minutes, so I can make money out of it. Because that's a problem on this fucking website. Videos that need to be a minute being stretched to 10 to make advert money. I don't want to be that guy. I want to be genuine, right? That's who I want to fucking be. That's my goal. I don't really have anything else to say other than the Cold War special getting split in half because the file size was too big. I don't think I'm going to be uploaded in 2K much anymore. I think I'll probably just stick to 1080p because that's just the average. People aren't like, oh, I wish this video was 2K. You know what I mean? I have a 2K screen and I watch 1080p videos all the time, and I don't think like, man, this video would be way better if it was 2K. You have a 4K mod out and you ain't sitting there like, meh, I'm not going to watch this video, it's only 1080. You just watch it. So I'll probably stick to 1080 to reduce the file size and make it a little bit easier to upload. Have you got any? You've already done your recording experience monologue, haven't you?
That is, I've already sort of rounded that up. But I mean, like, it's like, I guess maybe like a final roundup type of thing, because I think this has been one hell of a podcast.
It's 2 hours and 20 minutes as of right now.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
I'd say, so like, it's like a final remark on my part. I had a lot of fun doing this. There was a lot of ups and downs. A lot of times where I wish I just didn't have to do it anymore.
Yeah.
Because of the absolute pain that it was to get through certain maps and stuff.
That's what comes with this kind of series.
Exactly.
And it's a shame.
But now that we're sort of at the end of it and looking back at it, I can sort of tell I'm better for it, I guess,
Yeah.
Like,
and it was a lot of fun.
Being able to have that whole experience now, knowing exactly where everybody else is coming from and certain things. Like obviously we need to do the Easter eggs.
Yes.
To sort of fully understand like the story of it
Of course, yeah,
and
of course.
to be in that sort of circle of how things are.
And we will never be able to go back in time and be involved in the height of Black Ops 1 and 2 Easter egg solving. We'll probably,
Of course.
at this point, now that Plutonium's been hit, we'll probably never play the Black Ops 1 and 2 Easter eggs, which really blows. We'll see what happens, obviously.
There will be
hopefully
some sort of
at
thing.
some point in the future, they remake BO1 and 2 zombies. I mean, I guess they've already kind of done that in Chronicles, but Chronicles 2, well, it is a joke at this point. It is a running joke.
Yeah.
But if Chronicles 2 is a real thing, you best believe we're going to jump on it, because I do want to play it. I do want to experience it. And like you're saying, even the bad maps, like some of those maps were work. It was a chore to get through some of them. But would I go back and not play them? No. Angle Grinder Man, I would not go back and change it. You know, playing through all these maps was an experience. It was fun. Even the bad maps, it's fun to play this shit for the first time. It really is. And I feel like a part of me that was missing, not playing this stuff, I feel like I've finally done it. You know, I've been wanting to do it for so long. Like, I was talking to Tyler about doing this series for like 2 years before we started.
Yeah.
And if we did it 2 years ago, we'd have actually been the first on the block, because loads of other people started doing it at the same time as us. I had the idea first, man. Believe me. Genuinely, I am the Nikola Tesla of we've never played zombies before. They stole my plans.
They knew.
They knew. Yeah, we were just a bit lazy, to be honest. If we jumped on it 2 years ago, we genuinely would have been the first to do it. I think. That's just, I guess. But anyway, I don't think we have anything else to say about the recording.
The finale.
That's the end.
Done and dusted.
We've done it. And it's 2 hours, 22 minutes, and probably it will end at 22 seconds. I don't know.
You hope.
Who knows?
Yes. All I can say is just a final remark. It's just thank you to everybody, obviously, for sticking with us.
Absolutely.
It has been really fun. And getting to see everybody's engagement to it and taking in the feedback and sort of having a general discussion with all of you has been really, really fun and made it even better than what we were expecting.
And if there is any feedback, this, like I said in the last video, now's the time, you know. Feel free. If you have any requests of something that you want us to do, either solo or a co-op thing that you want us to do, leave it in the comments. We'll talk about it. You know, we'll give it a go if it's possible. You know, we're at the very beginning of our YouTube career, if you can call it that. So any ideas are welcome. And yeah, we're going to continue. This ain't the end. We ain't done with YouTube. There might be a little bit of a hiatus while we figure out what the fuck we're going to do next. But we ain't done. We are definitely going to be playing the Black Ops 3 campaign, for sure. And we are definitely going to be doing the Easter eggs. Absolutely, for sure. I want to do Extinction. You want to do World War II zombies. It would be cool for you to maybe like do I'm playing a game and you're watching and we're doing like a co-op talk over a single player game.
That's what I was mentioning.
Or you play a game and I watch your screen and we talk over it. Because I personally, I'm a huge fan of Let's Plays, you know, old term, Let's Plays, with like multiple guys just chilling out on a couch, one guy playing the game, a guy sitting next to him just sitting there watching, being like, oh, I think you missed something, you know what I mean? Oh, this game's great. And just having a general banter, you know. I love that genre of YouTube channel. I'm not that big of a fan of solo guys. I like teams that have banter and have inside jokes. And I wanna steer towards that, which is why I think we might start a community channel rather than it just being my channel. You know, maybe there'll be a Josh channel, maybe there'll be a Tyler channel, and there'll be a channel that we share that has the bulk of the content in the middle. But that's just business plans for the future, isn't it, really? We'll see what comes in the future. We'll see what comes.
Indeed.
Thank you, everyone, like Tyler said, from the bottom of our hearts and from the bottom of our whiskey bottles. Thank you.
Yes, indeed.
If you've stuck through to the end of this, holy shit, you know, be sure to buy the merch. Anyway, it's been fun. up next will be campaign, Black Ops 3 campaign struggle, suffer through. Can't call it a struggle through.
Please no.
Can't call it a struggle through. That's incorrect, politically incorrect. And Easter eggs will be coming at some point. We'll get on that.
Yes.
We will get on that. We need 4 people to play Shadows of Evil, and then me and Tyler can bang the rest out. So if there's anyone willing to sign up for duty to help us do Shadows, let your voices be heard. I think that's it.
You never know.
I think that's genuinely it. I think we're done.
Yeah.
And
It's
had our
done.
whiskey. Clink the glasses.
Yay.
Clink the glasses.
I don't know how to do it.
I've
I'm going
done
to
it.
use something. I'll just bloody use my phone. There you go.
Oh, we didn't hear it, unfortunately.
Oh,
But I clinked
well,
my
wait.
glasses together and it worked.
Well, we're going to do it this way, because I know one way to do it. Let's get this done. Here we go. Here we are.
Oh,
There it is.
fucking beautiful it was. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. Tyler, have you got any final words?
On to the next. Let's go.
On to the next. Bring me that horizon. Not
Yes.
the band, the Pirates of the Caribbean thing.